sexual abuse of a child,
exploits and degrades them. It can cause serious damage to social, emotional, and cognitive development of a child. Sexual abuse affects 1 in 4 girls and 1 in 6 boys before the age 18. Hi, my name is Zanetta Berryman Cooper, founder of Speak Out Now. Speak Out's goal is to spread awareness of child sexual abuse and rape. We provide resources for victims, their families, and help with the overall healing process. For more information, please like and visit our Facebook page, Speak Out 203, or call 203-936-9396.
Baby, come give me something new. Baby, come give me something new. Cause I can't stop loving you, baby. Since I got a taste of your loving new. Baby, come give me something new. I told her, wait.
What's up, everybody? What's good? What's good? Hope y'all can hear me. Sorry for the delay. We up here on the Raw Report. This is a special edition tonight. I'm a little nervous. I ain't gonna front. I'm a little nervous. We're gonna go around the room and because she's a juvenile and for legal issues, we have the young lady that's gonna speak also. Face has been blocked out, and but her mom is in the building. First, let me introduce everybody. First, we got in the building. You know her. That's Miss Courtney Boyd, aka College Girl.
Hello.
Is in the building, and we're gonna also introduce from Speak Out Now, Miss Zanetta. Let me see, make sure I'm saying that right, because I've been calling you Zanita. Miss Zanetta Cooper.
Hey, lovelies.
Yeah, make sure y'all speak in your mics, because I know everybody get Hollywood. You know we.
Okay.
And we have.
Make sure I get close.
Yeah, there you go. You perfect. You perfect. Like we said, we have a young lady also in the building who's gonna be speaking, but you will not be able to see her face, and we're gonna carry on from there. Like I said, I'm definitely nervous, but I'm going to try to get through this.
This is a touchy subject. However, it is something that needs to be spoken about, especially, in our community. I'm not going to just say the Black community, because the community, period, no matter your nationality or anything like that. It is a touchy subject, and some people, I think this is a good organization. When Rob first told me about it, I was like, yo, it's good that somebody actually did that, because it's a lot of people that suffer in silence.
It really is.
And it's because they're scared to say anything. And I'm glad that now there is something out there that somebody could, reach out to if something is happening and have somebody to speak to about it. I thank you for that. And that's just me being a woman and having a daughter and having a son. Because, it happened to boys too.
Exactly.
I thank you for coming out with an organization like this, because it's awesome. It really is.
Oh, thank you. I said that was my choice. I think it was something that God birthed out of a dark place. Mm-hmm. And awareness needs to be spread about this situation, because it just happens every 8 minutes. It happens to a boy. It happens to a girl. You know them. I know them. Family members know about it, but it's the family secret. Nobody wants to speak about it. Nobody wants the family to look bad, so it's just something that people need to start admitting that it's happening so that we can deal with it.
Right.
They say the first step to the healing process is admitting there's a problem. Mm-hmm. And a lot of people don't want to admit that.
Right.
You said it happens every 8 seconds?
Every 8 minutes, sorry. Did I
every
say
8
seconds?
minutes.
Every
I don't
8
know.
minutes.
Like I said, I'm nervous. This is this is sensitive. This is touchy.
It is.
This is touchy. Explain what your organization represents and what y'all actually do.
Well, what we do is provide resources as far as counseling. I myself or one of my staff members, we provide prayer when people request prayer. We have some closed groups on Facebook, one for men, one for women. And you basically, you can go in there and say, hey, I'm having a hard time today. This is what's going on with me. And the other members are able to comment and give some encouraging words. It helps for people to know that they're not alone.
Okay. Tell us what made you start the organization.
What made me start the organization is I'm a victim myself. I'm a victor, not a victim anymore. But as a child, I was sexually abused. As a teenager, I was raped. As a young adult, I was raped.
By a family member? Or just...
Family members. One was a stranger. Well, not necessarily a stranger, but a friend of a family member. And then it happened to my child.
Wow.
And the first thing I wanted to do was run and just not deal with it. But then God just kept poking me like, we got to do something. I chose you for this. I chose you to spread this awareness because it's a demon that people are dealing with. And I think a lot of people don't want to admit that. It's not a sickness in my eyes, but it is definitely people being possessed by like a perverted spirit. I don't want to get too deep because I know everybody's not all into that kind of stuff. But it is definitely something that just needs to be brought to light.
Right. Now, your daughter is here, the one who was abused. When did it start?
When she was 7.
When she was 7 years old.
Mm-hmm.
Jesus. When did you find out about it?
I found out last year. I took a promotion with my company, and 3 days before I was to leave town and report to South Carolina, I found a diary.
Your daughter's diary.
I found her diary. And mind you, I had already gone through everything in her room. And on top of her dresser was this little Hello Kitty diary sitting. And I'm like, well, what is this doing here? Because I've thrown a bunch of journals and books and things that she write in a box already. But this one, God was like, read it. And the first page broke my heart. And it just kind of spelled out details. And I immediately was like, Lord, no, like, please don't let this be true. This is not what I'm seeing, even though it's in front of my eyes. It was horrible.
And you was reading it detail by detail.
I'm reading it detail by detail.
And I know you was just, I don't know what, I can't.
I was enraged. I'm going to be honest with you. I love God, but there was no saved thought in my mind at that moment.
Because I know you was definitely ready to kill somebody.
Rob, let me tell you. Initially, I was plotting to call him, but my phone kept shutting off. Every time I tried to call him, my plan was to go to his house, get him outside, run him over, put it in reverse, run him over again, drive off, right on over him again. To
kill him. You definitely.
Exactly.
Which is natural. That's
right.
I totally get it. Now do you don't mind saying where is he now?
Oh, he's locked up.
He is incarcerated.
He's locked up.
He's incarcerated. Do you think we can? How can we talk to her?
Sure. Talk?
She doesn't want to talk.
You want to talk? You can.
What is she in counseling? Are you in counseling?
We've done some sessions. Oh, I'm sorry. You was addressing her.
I mean, if she doesn't want to talk, that's totally fine. Do you want
to talk? You don't have to talk if you don't.
She don't have to talk. She don't have to talk.
Huh? You okay?
Yeah, she don't have to talk.
You want us to come back?
Yeah.
Okay.
She don't have to talk. She's in counseling, right?
Yes.
Some people, I don't see it I don't know how to look at it. Like, is it a sickness? I don't see it like that. I just see a bugged out person
Right.
doing some bugged out shit.
Exactly.
And I don't even know what to say, man. I really don't know what to say.
I think people call it a sickness because they don't want to take responsibility for their perversion.
Right.
You know, me, myself, I don't understand what turns you on about an undeveloped child.
At
Right,
7
an
years
innocent
old.
child at that.
Yeah.
At 7 years old.
Right.
How long did it go on?
It went on until she was 13.
Jesus.
Right.
Jeez. Are they? What are they saying in court?
Well, we actually go to court tomorrow, so I'll have a little more detail. But it's a he's already had like pre-trial, so we'll know more information tomorrow.
Yeah, the people up here. She's not going to talk. We don't want her to talk because she's been through enough, you know. And this is not for no ratings and nothing like that. This is just to bring, because your organization brings awareness. Because a lot of, like you said, a lot of people are scared to say something, right?
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And with everything that's going on in the country now, with Me Too and everybody speaking out now, I get it.
Right.
I just at this point in my life, I have a different approach, and that's something I have to work on.
Mm-hmm.
My approach isn't. I don't know if I can start an organization. My approach, and as well as my many brothers and sisters, their approach will be much different. And I don't, not taking away from what you're doing,
Right.
because what you're doing is noble, and it's incredible, because you're bringing awareness and you're helping people.
Jesus saved him.
Yeah,
I'm just saying, because here in Connecticut, I have 5 brothers.
right.
One phone call.
And it could have went a different way.
Yeah, one phone call, and then he would have
Right.
been done.
Right.
But regardless, he's gonna get it. He's gonna
Right.
get it.
It's
But
what do you have, like, forgiveness for him, or just is not, you're not at that point yet?
I'm working on it. I cannot say that I hate him because I have children with him, and I think that was part of the reason why I did not make those other decisions, because anything that happens to him, regardless to what, will still affect my children.
Now this is her.
Not biologically. He's
Okay,
been in her
okay.
life since she's been
Right.
3 months.
Jesus Christ.
So, you know, I have to deal with a whole lot of different emotions when it comes to this, because I'm like, how do you go from rocking a baby to sleep to doing what you did?
Right. And we won't get into detail on what we talked last
Right.
night. I don't think we need to get into detail
Right.
about the things that, you know, he did. But Kyle's girl, you got any questions?
I'm speechless and disgusted. I feel like I'm about to cry. I'm sorry. But I don't know. This is just crazy.
I mean,
It's
any
crazy that
parent.
stuff like this happens.
Right.
And I'm a victim. I didn't speak out. So it's just, I would never want my daughter to go through that.
Right.
And I don't know. I'm sorry, yeah.
No, that's fine.
It's natural, because I myself am a victim, and I know firsthand how it made me feel. So my child going through it, it's like, how do you deal with this? Like, for a long time, I kind of ran from God. I'm like, God, how did you let this happen to me? You let it happen to my daughter. Like, you know, I went through so many different emotions, and it's natural to feel that way because you don't know how to deal with it sometimes.
I
Well, not
think
sometimes, all the time.
Right. Like me, I just dealt with it by not thinking about it. And that doesn't necessarily deal with it, because as you can see now, I'm still affected by it.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? So it's just like, that's why I was said to you in the beginning, like, I'm so glad you did create something like this so that people can, you know, feel comfortable with expressing what they went through and the stuff that happened. And it's just, and It's just crazy. We just need to talk to our kids more as well.
Exactly.
We got to talk to our kids more as well and let them know that if something like this does happen, we need you to say something. Like, don't think that, you know, you'll get in trouble or you did anything wrong, because that was the reason why I didn't say anything.
Me too.
Because I thought I was going to get in trouble, and I thought I was going to be, you know, labeled as, like, a hoe or whatever the case may be.
Right.
So I didn't say anything. But now that I'm older and I know, like, you know.
Hey, that was wrong.
Right.
Right.
Right. So I try to have these discussions with both my kids, my son and my daughter. Like, I'll tell them, nobody touches you there. If anybody touches you, you make sure you tell me. Never be scared to tell mommy anything. Like, I don't let them sit on people's laps.
I don't play that.
None of that. Right. Like, because, oh, God.
People, you just never know who is a creep. And it could be male or female, unfortunately.
Right.
You know, it's just one of those things where you just got to be careful, and you have to proactively have a conversation with your children at young ages. My son is 6. When all this happened, I'm like, hey, did daddy, but you know, I'm asking questions, because now it's like, I don't know what to think.
Exactly.
It's like, and there will definitely be a problem in prison. It absolutely will be a problem. There will be an issue once the word gets out.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And it'll definitely be an issue. Now, does it ever, the counseling that she goes to, does it do you sit in on the counseling?
No, they like for her to be able to express herself by herself.
Right.
If they have an issue or feel like there's something I need to pay attention to, then they will tell me. I went from one place. We're actually going to be starting a new place closer to our home. So we'll see how this new therapist goes.
Has people reached out to your organization?
Yes.
Really?
Yes.
That are going through it?
That are going through. There's been people who's called me ready to kill themselves, where I have to get in touch with authorities. My cousin Nicole, she actually helps me out too. So I have her, she's here local, so she's helped with people here locally too. And people keeps a secret. And
it's definitely a big thing.
Yeah.
People are just sick and the weirdos.
Right. I mean, I've had pastors, sorry, I can't speak, reach out to me. One from North Carolina, and she just basically told me her story and how she still struggles even though she's a pastor.
And it happened to her.
And it happened to her.
That's crazy.
It's deep.
And it's funny how it happens to. I just don't get how somebody can be attracted to somebody. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I don't get it neither, but it really happens a lot. Like, I have a lot of close friends where, you know, we get together and we'll, like, you know, talk about things that happened in the past, and they'll tell me, like, you know, stuff that happened to them, and then I'll open up about what happened to me, and it really does happen a lot. Like, I have a friend whose older brother, you know, touched her and like, you know, the wrong way.
Right.
Like, and as kids, again, we didn't say anything because we didn't know. Like, we thought we was gonna get in trouble
because that's what they tell you. It was
gonna be our fault, right?
Yeah. Back in the day, can you imagine mentioning that back in the day to somebody, like such and such touched them or something? You would get in trouble,
right?
You would get in trouble because it was too taboo back then,
right? So
you would never mention it. Now it's more. You got social media now. You got everything out there now, you know, technology.
Right.
Back then, imagine you saying, yo, my uncle, I got some creepy ass uncles that I thought was a little too weird. You know what I'm saying? I'm just certain. The sit on the lap thing was always.
My grandmother was so big on that. Don't you sit. I don't care who they are to you. You don't sit on their lap.
Mm-hmm.
Kenny Ransom said, my son is 11 and I ask him and talk to him constantly about schoolboys, girls, men, women, making sure in school he's not being touched inappropriately. I even talked to my son, let him know I would die. You know what I'm saying? I get what he's saying. Because a parent, especially, your first instinct is, oh, this motherfucker got to go.
Right.
It just that would be my approach.
Right.
He got to go.
You turn into Papa Bear, Mama Bear. It is what it is.
Right. The grizzly bear instinct kicks in,
Right.
and it's on. You just screwed up, homeboy.
Right.
Now, is it common amongst women doing it too?
Yes. The crazy thing is, I've been doing a lot of research, and there are some people out there that have children just to engage in these acts with the children.
Oh my god.
As young as 4 months.
That's disgusting.
Yo,
It is.
That
It's
is
crazy.
disgusting.
That's crazy.
It
4
is.
months, you
really
said?
disgusting.
4 months.
Yeah.
That's disgusting.
It is absolutely.
Yeah, Tashana Gripper just said it's not all men.
It's not.
Women do it too.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? See, my thing is, Brooklyn Brown just said you have to talk to your children. I have a daughter. Technically, I don't know what to say. I really don't. Because I asked her, does she want to sit in tonight? And she gave me this look like, I didn't even know how to go about, maybe that's where your organization will help.
Right.
Because she was like, explain to me, why do you want me to sit in on this one? You never want me to sit on anyone.
So she can be aware. So.
But I didn't know how to go about it, like saying, I just didn't know how to go about it. Not to take away from, because what you're doing is incredible.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
It's a hard conversation, though.
Absolutely.
You know, it's like, so first things first, you want to make sure that your children can trust you enough to come to you with information like this, right? So we got to kind of lay down a foundation and say, hey, if anybody ever, you can't go to the I'll die for you type of thing, because now they're afraid to come to you and and tell you, because they don't want mommy or daddy to die. You know, you got to kind of give it to them PG. Like, hey, anybody messes with you, touches you inappropriately, I'm here. I'm the only one that can help. You can trust me. You're not going to get in trouble. You got to tell them the opposite of what they're being told, because mine felt like she had to take one for the team because there was domestic violence in my marriage, and she's watched me and him like go toe to toe.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So she's like, she got to protect me. So I had to have the conversation and be like, my job is to protect you. You don't have to protect me.
Right.
So so without that diary, you never would have found out.
I wouldn't have found out.
Because she never said nothing.
She never said anything out of fear.
And I know you wasn't mad at her, and I'm not mad at her. I feel so bad right now that, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Don't forget, y'all, call in 203-510-0131 and ask your questions or whatever for Zanetta Cooper, the founder of Speak Out Now. And
So Bessie January wants to know, should I wait until my son is older, or is 4 years old a good age?
4 years old is a good age.
Really?
It is a good age, because they need to understand what's right and what's wrong. You know, good touch, bad touch, because they're doing it to kids as young as 4 months. So if you're 4 or even 2 and you don't know that this is something bad, somebody's washed in one spot way too long, you don't know to tell mommy or daddy.
Like a bath. Something as simple as a bath.
Right. A lot of people that do these things to children are those in trusted positions, you know, a nanny, a babysitter, gymnastics teachers. You see that in the news.
And my daughter's in gymnastics.
Teacher at school, school bus driver. Sometimes it's the pastor, youth leader. They need to know.
Tashana Gripper said, did she say why she never told you? Was it because he told her not to, or was she just scared?
He told her not to, and she was scared for my life.
Because knowing what you would do.
Right.
How you would respond.
How I would react. And like I said, we've gone toe to toe. I'm not proud of it in front of my children. And she was afraid that we would go down that same road.
And it would increase by this information.
Right.
Now, when you read the diary, did you respond immediately, or did you go to her and?
I went to her.
Okay.
I went to her because although I was seeing what I was seeing, I needed clarity. Mm-hmm. You know, I mean, I don't know how to explain it, but I just needed more. I needed her to tell me what happened.
Wow. Now, legally, you can't mention him until the case is over, right? Because a lot of people, I mean,
Yeah, a lot of people
we
are
don't,
asking.
you don't really.
Well, I
think-
posted the wanted poster on my page, so anybody can go there and see who he is. They had him here on the news right before he got arrested.
Wow.
Kimberly Hardy says, Anita, I applaud you on so many levels.
Zanetta.
Zanetta, I'm sorry. I applaud you on so many levels. One, for lifting the lid of secrecy in the Black community. The next, for being the incredible mom you are, for pursuing therapy, another taboo issue in our community. Your healing movement was needed decades ago. I hate this happened, but there is a calling on you and purpose behind your pain.
Exactly.
Now, let me ask you this. Is this a black thing?
It's not a black thing.
It's not a black thing.
It's not a black thing.
It's just like it's a universal thing.
It's a universal thing, and it's just so unfortunate that people are out here and just sick. No matter what your nationality is, there's sick people in this world who creates broken people, because when you do this to these children, they grow up being broken adults.
Right.
Like I myself, I got saved years ago. And you think that because you've accepted God into your life, this is like an automatic healing. Doesn't work like that. I can remember a time where I'm just sitting at I'm at my sink and I'm doing dishes, and a smell, my ex-husband walked past me, and I have this certain scent that triggers me. And I immediately start crying, and he's like, oh, you need to learn how to get over this.
It's not
And not realizing the demon was passing me. That he was the familiar demon passing me in my house.
Right.
So
Kenny Ransom says, Zanetta Cooper, God has a purpose for you. You are a strong black woman to even discuss this in this forum manner. This is even more of a reason for me to assure my son that no one will do anything to him by telling me, no matter who threatens him, to never be afraid to tell me, because I will protect him to the end.
tell him he got to lighten. You got to lighten the blow, though. Can't say I'll die.
Right. Jerry Smith said, what are some of the signs to look for?
That's a good question.
Sometimes there are no signs. I've seen no signs. There was one where she kind of regressed, because she was afraid to walk in the hallway at night by herself. So,
and he was still in the house at this time.
He was still in the house. So little things that would happen, like wetting the bed, after you're not supposed to, and everything seemed normal, and then all of a sudden there's a change in behavior. I took her to the doctors because I was diabetic, and in children I know that's one of the symptoms. So I take her to the doctors thinking that maybe she has what we call sugar. You know what I mean?
Black people call it sugar.
So, that was a sign that I didn't know. Just the change in behavior. But the crazy thing is, they say that when a child is withdrawn and not willing to have fun, she's always been a withdrawn child. And I did notice that she kind of backed away from everybody, but I just kind of figure she don't like people, because she used to say, I don't like being around people.
Right. Well, it's funny how it worked, because when she got here, she was willing to talk, but now, and I totally get it. I totally get it. And she's under no pressure or obligation to speak. It's just, your mom, so moms can hold this down.
Right.
Mom's going to hold this. You got this. You know what I'm saying?
And let me just say, you are doing a really good job, because I broke down myself.
Yeah,
So.
you bigger than me. You're better than me.
Let me tell you, I have my moments.
Right.
Let
So
me tell you.
it bothers you. Now, do you go to
Of
counseling?
course it bothers her.
Not yet. I'm gonna be honest with you. I know I need it, but my priority is to make sure that they're good.
Somebody said, at what age does she back away from people?
Jeez, probably around 6 or 7.
She started backing away from people?
Mm-hmm.
But it's hard to understand what's going on. You know what I'm saying? Because how would you know that?
Right.
Like, how would you, unless you saw that diary, how would you know
There was no signs.
that this was going on? You wouldn't know.
Right. I blame myself for a long time. Like, why didn't I see this? Because this happened to me. I should have been able to pick up on it. But I also know that people like this are great pretenders. They know how to manipulate a situation.
Right. And he was manipulating the situation.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, if I said the details, I think everybody watching and everybody in the room would be in tears. I'll be back there, too. It's just crazy how he was able to hide this.
How did the news get wind of it?
Oh, West Haven Police.
The West Haven Police. But now you had to go to them to make a complaint.
Right. So after I spoke to her the first night, the first night I told you I was trying to kill him.
Right.
So the next morning I have a conversation with her and I'm like, listen, here's what I want to do. How do you feel about this? Because I feel like he should pay. He should not get away with this. And I can't necessarily say that if she didn't agree that I wouldn't have pursued charges.
Right.
But I wanted to make sure that she was okay because this is daddy.
Right.
This is daddy.
Right.
So it's like, I'm a daddy's girl, and with little girls, daddy can do no wrong, but this situation is different. I just wanted to make sure that she was okay with me moving forward with it. I mean, we end up having to do a little bit here, and then they hooked us up with someone in South Carolina once we got there. She did her
like
forensic
counseling.
interviews and all that stuff there.
Tashana Gripper said, how are the children you have with him handling this?
Well, my son doesn't know. He's
Okay.
only 6. So
Okay.
he just thinks
Naturally.
Yeah, he just thinks that daddy doesn't have a phone anymore, so he can't talk to daddy.
And that makes sense. 'cause
Right.
That's too much for a child to process.
Yeah.
Right.
And then my 13-year-old, she's just like, I don't claim him.
Okay.
My
Understand.
stepchildren say the same thing. They don't want to have anything to do with him.
Melanie Brookshire said, we have to let our kids know, even if they say they will hurt your parents, nothing will happen. They can talk to us about anything.
Right.
Absolutely. Kenny Ransom said, Rob, tell her that that's how I feel. I understand lightening up, but I go hard for my family. Sorry, I can't call in. I'm still at work. I get what Kenny's saying.
Yeah.
The immediate reaction will be, yo, I got a fine old boy.
Right.
And he has to go.
Right.
Absolutely.
Kiki D wants to know, how did she act around him, and was she afraid to be around him?
That's a good question.
I didn't notice that at the time, but I look back on pictures. I noticed that in pictures he would put his arm on her shoulder and she'll have this like weird look on her face,
Really?
like not wanting to smile and everything. Like he came to the kids' recital, which was the last picture, and it just looked weird. It's like, how did I miss that?
Right.
But how would you know?
Right. But
There's no way you would know to see that. You know what I'm saying?
yeah, I know, but it's
The
like,
diary was key. It was.
yeah.
Cena
definitely.
Dennis said there were no signs because she loved her dad. Many of us never say anything because we fear for our mom and what we would think would happen to them. I applaud my cousin Zanetta, and most of all, I'm not going to say her name. That's from Cena Dennis. So I don't know if that's your cousin. Or
Yeah,
what.
that's my cousin.
Janae said you would never know. There aren't any certain signs to look for. In most cases, it happens so much more than we think. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and I think he was a pro at it because she's not the first person.
Wow.
She's not the first person.
She's not the first person.
Oh, so he's a habitual.
Yeah, I found this out after the fact.
Jeez.
You know,
Oh my gosh.
yeah, he's done it to other people. I'm not gonna
Yeah, you
give
can't
specifics,
legally.
but
you
he's
can't
done
go.
it to other people. So
this is
people
not.
knew.
This is he's just.
I'm just the first
serial.
person to file charges.
And he's serial at. Oh wow.
Yeah,
Wow.
That's horrible.
yeah.
Douglas said, "I'm a caseworker with sex offenders and females and young males that's been sexually abused. It's hard to have a group where teaching and telling a sex offender to control himself, and then have a group with wait a minute, with someone that's been sexually abused. Most of our black and brown was sexually abused by a neighbor or a friend of the family. Let's get this call right quick. Caller, what's up? It's the Raw Report. Talk to us.
Hey, Rob, this is Lisa.
Hey, Lisa.
I want to thank you for doing this show. And Vanetta, I want to thank you. It's wonderful what you're doing, and I got to give you mad props.
Thank you.
There was a man just convicted of, he was a trainer, and a gymnastics trainer, and he was sexually molesting young girls in front of their parents.
What?
Yeah, he was
in front of their parents.
Because he did it. He did it to a way to they wouldn't make
like
it feel
copping a feel.
Right, I'm copping a feel, but I'm
Yeah.
acting like I'm getting their muscles right for competition.
Exactly.
What a
And so
creep.
these girls would be even in even more of a situation because they really couldn't understand what was wrong, even though they were feeling wrong because, hey, my mom and dad or my mom is right there and what's going on.
Right.
But it came out and he got like 120 years or
Yeah.
something.
The beautiful
that.
part about that is my wife put me on to it. That judge brought straight fire to his ass.
Good.
Oh, yeah.
She said, this gives me honor and pleasure to bring this fire to you. Hundreds of years. But the way he did it to where parents were in the room and he would be like, because it requires, gymnastics requires a lot of,
Right.
muscles and stuff. I've seen my daughter go through it. She's been in gymnastics for, 5, 6 years? 7 years? 7 years she's been in it. And them girls go in there, they're dressed up. They're in leotards.
Right.
These are young girls. So a sicko,
And it requires touching.
it requires,
Right.
right. If I'm helping you do a new move, I have to touch you in a certain way.
Right.
And
Exactly.
I don't know.
That's
Well,
crazy.
the thing is, it's, and different children respond differently to sexual abuse. Some, like you said, will become withdrawn and they'll be covering themselves up all the time, and some even stop bathing because they don't want to be attractive to their abuser.
Mm-hmm.
On the other hand, other children become over-sexualized and become like flirtatious at a very young age. So the point is, you cannot pay enough attention to
Right.
your children and how they are around adults, how adults are around them, and any change in behavior whatsoever is a sign that something is going on.
I
But
agree.
I can't tell you how to broach the issue. A lot of people use dolls to, point to this area and that area, but it's a very, very tough thing to recognize. And, even adults, as we've seen, have trouble coming out about rape. And it's a really tough subject, but it's happening everywhere.
Lisa, hold on. Diane Mitchell said, there are no signs. My dad molested me from the age of 3 to 6. And what confused me the most is that I still love my dad. Your family is in my prayers. I'm so glad that you're getting help for, hold on, let me get the.
For your child.
Right. I'm so glad that you're getting help for your child because I didn't tell until I was about 20 years old. I'm 43 and I'm not just dealing with this matter. I had to because it tore my life apart.
And it'll do that.
Now, can she reach out to your organization? Her name is Diane Lady Di Mitchell.
I think I know Diane. I think I've sung with her before.
Okay. Now she can reach out.
I'm going to hang
Yes.
up now.
Hey, Lisa, thank you so
Thanks for
much.
calling in.
Thank you.
Okay.
This is tricky, man.
Yeah.
I mean, that sounded like she was crying when she hung up. This is tricky.
It's a real, like I said, it's a real touchy subject, but it is something that needs to be addressed, and it is something that should be brought to the forefront.
Right.
that was slick what she said though. I didn't mean to cut you off. Coco. She said to get a doll and point out off limit spots.
Right.
I never thought of that. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Right.
That a person should not be touching.
Right, because it doesn't put you in the awkward position of trying to show the child on themselves or on
Right.
you.
Right.
It's crazy.
Yo, don't go nowhere, y'all. We're gonna go to a commercial and we'll be right back. It's the Raw Report. Don't leave. Don't go nowhere. We We thank y'all for tuning in. Please don't go nowhere. We'll be right back.
Sexual abuse of a child.
Exploits and degrades them. It can cause serious damage to social, emotional, and cognitive development of a child. Sexual abuse affects 1 in 4 girls and 1 in 6 boys before the age 18. Hi, my name is Zanetta Berryman Cooper, founder of Speak Out Now. Speak Out's goal is to spread awareness of child sexual abuse and rape. We provide resources for victims, their families, and help with the overall healing process. For more information, please like and visit our Facebook page, Speak Out 203, or call 203-936-9396.
All right, y'all, we back, and we're talking to, if you just joined us, we're talking to Zanetta Cooper. She's the founder of Speak Out Now. And Zanetta, again, thank you for coming here. And this takes a lot of courage. And now, does it bother you? Now, how long ago did he get? Because I remember watching it on the news.
Mm-hmm.
I remember watching it on the news. Now, that was about a year ago, right?
No.
That wasn't that long ago, right?
No, it was actually September 1st.
Of 2017.
Mm-hmm.
That's right. It wasn't that long ago.
Yeah.
Right. It was.
The charges and the whole process took forever. So I found myself in different places on an emotional roller coaster, telling the detectives, listen, if I don't see no action, I'm taking the flight. Like, I was so serious.
Like, if you don't see no action, you're going to take care of it yourself.
That's
own
what
justice.
I kept. Yeah.
Okay.
Like, I went through, like I said, so many different emotions. And when I didn't see any action, no one was calling me. Because when I first left here, because he admitted it via text.
To you?
Yeah. And when I called him up, I didn't even get to that. After I spoke to her and I couldn't get in touch with him and I calmed down, I called him. And all I said was, I found her diary. And this fool said to me, I didn't know how to tell you.
What?
Wait. He said he didn't know how to tell you?
He said, I didn't know how to tell you. I said, I sacrificed so much for you, and you took the one thing I was never willing to give you. And he kept acting like he was busy. So my mind started working. So I basically got him to admit it verbally. Mm-hmm. And I have an associate's degree in criminal justice, right? So I know sometimes recordings don't hold up in court.
Right.
They don't.
So I got him to admit it via text message because I kept acting like the phone wouldn't stay on. So I started texting him and he started replying. So when I left here, I didn't have a phone for about a month.
Why?
Because the detectives took it. They
took
have the evidence of him admitting. They have the diary. They have everything that they need.
Do they still have this stuff now?
No, I have my phone now.
They have the diary.
Yeah, they have that.
Have they mentioned anything as far as time?
I'll find out tomorrow.
Tomorrow you'll find
I
out.
hope
Tomorrow.
they fry his ass. I really do. Do.
It's funny thing is I was reading up on it that a lot of times they don't get fried.
Listen.
Now I'm not trying to take you to another place.
No.
I'm just being.
I know that.
I'm just being honest.
Right.
Because they it's more political.
Right.
You know, like overpopulation. Put him in a program. He has a sickness. He or she has a sickness. That's the route they go with it sometimes.
Rob, let me tell you this. I serve an awesome God.
Right.
And I believe after all this that I've endured and my children have endured because of this, he gonna make sure that we see justice.
Right.
I believe that. So because I've read up on it too, and I do realize that sometimes they don't get a whole lot of time. And then the other victims have not come forward.
Right.
Because that will help him get more time.
Right.
But I'm going to trust God on this one.
Now, his other victims, were they minors as well?
They were minors. They were minors when it happened.
Were they like his family members or like?
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God.
Tashana Gripper said, how much of the diary did you read, even though it was tough to read?
I got through about 3 pages.
So you haven't even read the rest of it? Wow. Jesus Christ.
I wouldn't.
I
be able to
couldn't.
read it neither, to be completely honest.
I was enraged.
I bet.
Shemaya said, those are the people that deserve the death penalty.
Right.
Rape is worse than murder. It kills a person.
Shemaya, her name's Shemaya.
Shania, it kills a person
Well,
inside.
To be honest with you, let me back up. I'm gonna retract that. I don't believe in the death penalty because I don't believe in playing God.
That's too easy.
This exactly.
That's too easy.
I feel like some suffering needs to be endured.
Mm-hmm.
You need to feel what you've made these other victims feel.
Mm-hmm.
And not for nothing, he's a victim himself. But see, me being a victim, I take a different approach.
He's a victim.
You know what I mean?
He's a victim of what?
He's a victim of child sexual abuse as well.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Doesn't make it right.
It doesn't.
No, it doesn't.
But I'm just saying.
Now,
It
him,
doesn't.
did he admit that to you?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Latrice said dudes would do more time for having $100 worth of weed than from molesting a child. That's my
Unfortunately,
You're right,
point.
that
cuz.
is true.
You're right.
That's my point.
Unfortunately, that is true. and it
Diane
shouldn't
Mitchell.
be like that.
Diane Mitchell said, "Zanetta, do you go to court tomorrow? Because if so, I will go with you.
Yeah.
I want to stand with you. I've been a victim long enough."
Yes.
I think y'all should. Well, you said you already connected with her, right?
Right. It's gonna be in Milford.
Right.
Where actually I have some T-shirts made, like Speak Out with the logo and everything. Like
That's what's up.
we're gonna be in the building. You're gonna notice us.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, it's a good question right
Yeah.
here. Tashana Gripper says, since you were married to him and they are the family of your children, how is your relationship with his family? Are they on his side or your side?
Good question.
That's a real good question.
Really good question.
That's
So, me and my in-laws have always been strained because he's a liar. It is what it is.
He's a liar.
He's a liar. A whole lot of things have happened. So, some of them I'm cool with. You know what I'm saying? I still have a conversation with, like, we cool. But after this whole thing came out, some of them came for me.
Really?
Some of the people, some of the ones that I thought really rocked for me and with us and knew the truth.
Now, did they come at you because they didn't believe you or because they just were standing
No.
with their family member?
They believed it, but they didn't want it to be put on the forefront. They were mad at
Really?
me for bringing light to it. Yeah.
Oh.
They were mad.
Listen.
My first video before I even started Speak Out was out of anger because I couldn't believe that they was coming at me with all the things that they were saying, and then if you were protecting her, you were her mother,
Oh,
type
so they
of
made
thing.
it your fault.
Yeah.
That's
So I
crazy.
can't listen. When they came at me like that, came for my baby, I came with the guns blazing. I did it live. I didn't care who was exposed.
Right.
I hear that. That's
Dude.
crazy. Listen. I'm a woman before anything. I have a little brother and an older
Exactly.
brother I will kill for. However, if that ever came to light about my younger brother or my older brother, cousins, uncles, I don't care who
It is what it is.
You're no longer related to me.
Right is right and wrong is wrong.
Exactly.
If you want to take a neutral, bow out.
There is
Do
no
you?
neutral when it comes to
But
that.
I'm just saying, have no opinion, but don't come for me.
Right,
Don't come for me because I'm doing the right thing for my child.
right.
Just saying. That kind of get me a little high because
Right.
that was crazy to me.
Sabrina Yancey said, that's it, Zanetta. He will reap. You are such a strong woman. I applaud you to tell your story. Some people can't love you. My long childhood friend and sister in Christ.
Oh, I love you too.
So, how is the relationship now? Have you talked to the in-laws?
Not really. So his grandmother, she's like my grandmother. Like, we went by there today. I love her to death, and others that I speak to are long distance. Some of them are not in Connecticut, so I still speak to them. But Not really. No one, and I kind of been a little bit withdrawn because instead of them coming for me, I feel like the phone should have been picked up and you should have made a call and asked me if she was okay.
For her.
Exactly.
Right.
On the strength of her.
Right.
Right.
That's what I feel like they should have done instead of coming at me.
No, you're absolutely right.
So
Yeah, they definitely should have
because
been
of
giving
that, I
her
don't-
support and you support.
right. So because of that, you know, I'm not pointing the finger. I'm not mad at anybody. I just choose not to put myself in situations that I might have to repent for. I'm just saying.
Right. So we got a phone call. Hold on. Let's get this call. Caller, what's up? Talk to us.
What's going on, yo? How y'all doing?
What's going on?
This is like a crazy touchy subject for me because I got family members that's been through this. Like, I got brothers and sisters who endured this type of shit. I got my niece, a few years, probably about 8-9 years ago, she was gang raped in a Super 8 motel by a bunch of dudes, it's crazy, man. My daughter almost went through some shit like that, and it's crazy because, everybody be thinking for, some weird white dude to be trying to do something to your child when it's your cousin, it's your brother, it's your uncle, it's your, it's family.
Exactly.
Like, family be the ones who would do it first. So you don't want to look at your family in a negative eye like that. But this shit been going on for years. This been going on for centuries. This ain't something that just happened in the 2000s. It's being more publicly known because people are starting to, really speak up more about it. But this shit's been going on for years. You got to look at how many Catholic priests that been swept under the rug for touching little boys. You know what I'm saying? These are people that's supposed to be childs of God, and people who go to them for sanctuary and to talk to and to get hope, to get faith, and it be these preachers who's doing it. And it's not just Catholic priests. As you see today, it's been a couple of priests that's been exposed in New Haven that indulged in this type of situation. You know what I'm saying? So it's like you can never be too safe. And my mother was raw. She wasn't one of those mothers who sugarcoated shit like, oh, well, did he touch you in your hee-hee? And, shit like that. Like, my
old
mom
school.
was
Right.
Old school
way. She's like, did he grab your dick? You know what I'm saying? Did he touch your motherfucking ass? Like, my mother was crazy with it because she had 2 kids who family members took advantage of. So she was really like, nigga, anything that ever happened to my kids again, I'm dying. You know what I'm saying? There's no question about it. I'm going to jail or I'm dying. You know
But it makes you not trust people.
And that's how I feel. And it almost happened, when a situation occurred with my daughter, I ain't really know what to say. I was, kind of blind and blank. What the fuck am I about to say to my daughter? You know what I'm saying? And crazy because it was my nephew who did this shit. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, yo, what the fuck? I damn near went to jail because I was dealing with guns. You know what I'm saying? So when the shit happened, I was going to shoot my nephew. Dead ass. I was going to kill him. Fuck you. You know what I mean? Don't, when it comes to my kids, there's a lot of lines drawn. And if you cross them, and I feel like you cross them, I'll go the extra mile to do what I got to do to protect mine. I don't care what laws are written.
And that's
how
only
they
parent.
written and what you shouldn't do. But at the end of the day, I'm the judge for my kids.
That's
Fuck
Bonds,
what the law got to say. You know what I'm saying? Everybody don't have to carry that mind frame. Everybody's different. But I'm just telling you from my point of view. I don't care what a judge says. If something happens to my kids, good thing that the situation didn't fully go through because I would be in jail. I would have really did something to my nephew.
I was just going to ask you something. I was just going to ask you. So, granted, we go through these emotions when we first find out. We want to do all these things, right? But at the end of the day, had I done what I wanted to do, I would have left my children open for other creeps. You know what I'm saying? Because if I'm locked
What you
up,
mean-
I
what do
can't
you mean
control
by
what's
that?
going on.
Oh, right,
Like
okay,
if she
okay.
would have done something,
Yeah.
she would have
Right,
been in
right,
jail.
right.
Just saying.
That makes sense because now they will lock you up.
Right.
If you murder this piece of shit.
Right.
If you kill him.
Exactly.
And that's crazy.
It's like a no-win unless you
that
take a different approach.
It's crazy the rights that some of these motherfuckers have, and it's ridiculous that, you know, y'all register these motherfuckers, but you don't send a letter out to let us know. But if you owe taxes, they send you a letter in the mail.
Right.
True.
You know what I'm saying? Like, what type of sense does that make? You won't tell me a fucking pedophile who done got away with molesting 6 kids who went to jail for 2 years and did some counseling, and you told me this motherfucker has been healed, he can come out now. You won't tell me he just moved next door. But you'll send me this letter saying I owe you motherfuckers $200 motherfucking dollars.
Right.
That doesn't
No,
good.
yeah, absolutely
That's
right.
a good. Never even looked at
Right.
it like that.
Yeah, for real.
That's true.
This shit doesn't make any sense. A lot of shit is hidden. In my phone right now, I have over 150 pictures of pedophiles in New Haven. In New Haven, I have over 150 pictures in my phone right now. I didn't put them up before for personal reasons because I know the drama it'll bring behind it. If I drop these photos, I'm exposing.
Facebook will more than likely block you if
Right.
you drop
Right.
those pictures.
No, Facebook won't block me. I actually put like 30 of the shits up. You know what I'm saying? I removed the post, but I put like 30 of them up, and I removed the post. Facebook won't block you for that. Like somebody, you can report it. My page is so hot right now, and you can report anything on my shit. Facebook will block you. But the fact of the matter is some of these motherfuckers that's in this list that you chicks are taking out, or you chicks that's dealing with them, and you got them around your kids. I know personally some of you motherfuckers who, I know personally some of you chicks who dealing with these dudes or have had relationships with these dudes and don't know these motherfuckers are pedophiles.
But the
People
crazy
trying to
thing
make it
is, Bonds,
That's sad.
dudes, women too, they'll deal with you or come after you, pursue you because they want your children. They don't want you. They're not really interested in that. They want to stay home. And no offense to those who like, playing video games or whatever, but, they build a relationship with your children. They want to play the game and all that. And while you at work, they doing them with your child.
Right. That's why you gotta be real careful
Yeah.
about who you bring around your kids. Like, I'll be the first one to Google somebody ASAP. Like, I Google everybody. Like, I look up everything.
I don't even want my kids staying in the night.
My kids, to be completely honest, if my kids aren't with me, they're with my older sister or my younger sister or their dad. That's it. My kids don't go anywhere. If one of them three people,
Girl, I thought I was safe with my kids going with their dad. After we got a divorce, they were going over there every 2 weeks.
right?
Since my kids was babies, like I've been clipped that going over people's house to stay the night shit because I've always been cautious of a situation like that occurring. You don't know what goes on in somebody else's house.
That's
you don't know
true.
what's
Yeah,
allowed
absolutely
in the
right.
house. I know what goes on in my house. I know what's allowed in my house. And they mother endured shit like that before. I'm saying she went through a traumatic situation from a family member of hers before. So she's definitely not trying to be, having her kids go through anything like that. You know what I mean? And it's crazy because it happens at a very rapid rate, which people don't even understand. It's probably somebody tuned into the show right now whose child has did something because whose child has been, done wrong, and they just never approach them because they don't know what to say. Or they might, like, when the situation happened with my daughter, she like that, I'm like, why you ain't come tell me? Like, she was like, Daddy, you be going sick. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, when shit be happening with us, you don't really be thinking. You just be doing shit. So I'm like, yeah, but
And
in the
that
same
all goes
case,
back to
like,
what she was originally saying. When you talk to your kids about it, you can't
You gotta
say
make
to
it
them
PG.
like, "Oh, I'll go crazy." Da 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 da. You gotta, like she said, you gotta PG it for them.
This is beforehand to any of that. This
Right.
is from like my kids just seeing me how I protect them. Period. I done brought my daughters to parties, and I've sit there and chill, watching them play. And, you know, I watch the same kid keep hitting my daughter and the parents sitting there fucking laughing and giggling. So I approached the fucking parent like, yo, what the fuck is going on? Like, why the fuck is he not watching your fucking child hit on my daughter? So my kids know, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's like, I'll go that extra mile. You can't tell me what I'm going to do for mine. You know what I'm saying? Everybody react different. Everybody take to their kids.
You don't know
different.
unless you're in a situation.
Exactly.
I can't make you protect your child the way I protect my child. I'm just telling you the lengths I go through to make sure my kid is well taken care of and protected by all means necessary.
Right.
I'm not going to sit here and say if something like this was to really go through and happen with my child, that I won't do nothing, that I'll just be the one who's going to talk to see this shit through. Listen, man, like, you know what I'm saying, in this day and age, like, you living in the last days, whether people don't understand it or not, whether you incline with God or you're not inclined with him, you don't see what's happening in front of you, it's unfolding. I mean, if you rewind 10 years ago, how many gay people have you seen walking, holding hands? Just rewind back to 2007, 2008, maybe early 2000s. How many gay people you seen hold hands? You didn't see that shit often like that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? As time goes on now, it's real flamboyant. You got dudes who dress like a whole dude that'll walk around with nails on. These are the type of situations that people allow to come around their kids. These type of spirits pass through situations like this. You know what I'm saying? So it be that gay dude who come around your kid that you comfortable with, but your son don't know what this man is doing to him is not right. Because this Uncle
Wait,
Tommy,
let me stop you there
you know what
real
I'm saying?
quick.
Like,
Hold up, Buns.
So listen to this. I understand what you're saying, but my research shows that it's more heterosexuals that are pedophiles. It's not the gays and the lesbians. Yeah, they may influence your children, but it's mostly heterosexuals.
You said more. You ain't say none.
Yeah, I didn't say none.
Yeah, so I'm not opening the door for everybody to look at a gay person like they're going to molest their child. I'm just telling you, period. Like, certain shit you just shouldn't have around your kids. Plain and simple. You know what I'm saying? It ain't about, I'm not saying a gay dude won't come
No, I wasn't taking it like that. I was just, giving you some more information.
I'm just saying, like, whether it's 10% of a gay dude able to do it, that means it's a possibility it can happen to you.
True.
I'm saying, like, regardless of what it is, I'm just telling you from my point of view, I know people who had homosexuals or lesbians around their house that slept with their child or did something to their child. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not just a gay dude. I know about females happening to kids. You know what I'm saying? I know shit that happened even growing up. Older women who done shit like that. I was 16, and I was sleeping with a lady who was 37. You know what I'm saying? So, like, that was my boy mom. And she's 37 years old, and I was fucking her. So I already know, like, there's no levels to this situation. Like, females do it just like males do it. But the thing is, with a female doing it to a male, he's less than likely to report it because he feel like that's what a guy should be doing. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm sleeping with a woman. That's what should be happening. So he don't see no wrong with it. He don't know that this lady is taking advantage of him.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? He don't know that. He just thinks this is what a young man is supposed to be doing. I'm sleeping with a female.
Right.
You got teachers right now in high school and middle school who's probably having relationships with these young people.
Actually, it was a teacher on Cross that just
recently, right?
Yeah, a drama teacher. She was a drama teacher. I actually met her because my sister was in high school at the time.
It's real out here. I'm just telling you from every point. Like, you can't just look at one type of person. This could be anybody.
Right.
No, you
And there's
absolutely
always someone in a trusted position.
95% of the time, it's somebody you have entrusted to be around your kids or to be a part of your family. Motherfuckers don't know, like, allowing you to be a part of my family is not a thing that happens for everybody. You should take this as a gift because what comes with it is a lot. You know what I mean? I'm real, I'm loyal, I'm to the point. So you could be one of the motherfuckers who just let anybody, any old body in your circle, and, you know, you get any old type of result. But you just got to really, really, really watch the company you keep. Even
Right.
your best friend, like, they'll do it to you, too. Like, you really got to pay attention to the shit that's going on around you. I'm not telling you after the show to go question your child and stick a crayon up a dial button and be like, did this happen to you and all that shit? But what you really need to do is make sure your child is comfortable enough to approach you when a situation like this happens immediately. Because
Right.
they
We
can
have to
serve-
So
proactively
hold on,
handle.
Bun. Somebody has a question for you. They want to know, how did you end the relationship with your boy's mother?
Who, my baby mother?
No, how did you end the relationship with the
the
lady
heck?
that you were having sex with when you were 16?
We was all outside chilling one day, and, you know, she had, like, some type of attitude as if I had something to hide. Me being the I don't give a fuck type of motherfucker, if I feel like you trying to play me, I will speak my mind in front of anybody. So my boy and his brother was standing right there. She was standing there. It was a cup, like, the block was lit. Everybody was outside. It was summertime. We young. Everybody outside. So that's the nigga man, bitch. She's fucking jumping in the car with another nigga. Look, see what I told you? Side bitches. She coming in his bed. My back, y'all. But,
Okay.
the fucking, the fucking,
Alrighty.
she was sitting there talking crazy, like she had like some wild attitude. So I looked at her and I'm like, yo, you acting like mad people sitting. I'm like, yo, you acting like I got something to hide. Like, you the one sitting up here who was sucking my dick last night, you stupid. Like, I got
Buns,
real
we got kids.
We got kids in the
we got
room.
kids in the room, fam.
Yeah, I know. I got real disrespectful, like crazy disrespectful. And that situation ended right there. Like, my mother came outside. Everybody was like, no, what the hell? Oh, my goodness, I do this, da-da-da. And it just so happened a lady who lived on the street knew her from years ago and said she got arrested for sleeping with a 15-year-old boy.
Wow.
You know what I mean? Like,
Show me.
it's
So
on
it's
her
something
record
that she
she's
did
been
before.
arrested for this shit before. So she's
Look
into
at this
younger. This is what she into. She's into younger people. You know what I'm saying? Like, she creeps, but I guess that's her thing. I didn't know it because how I even came
I see it.
in contact to sleeping with her, I lied and said I was turning 18,
That is a good point.
and I was really turning 16. So I'm like, yo, my birthday, I'm like, I'm about to turn 18. So she was like, no, you not. I'm just me and her standing there. She's like, no, you not. I'm like, I'm dead serious. I'm about to turn 18. She was like, no, you not. I'm like, I'm dead serious. My boy was walking by. I'm like, yo, right, I'm about to turn 18. She was like, yeah, he about to turn 18. I said, tomorrow is birthday. She was like, okay, so come over at 12 o'clock and get your gift. So I'm like, 12 o'clock? What? In the afternoon? Because it's already past 12. So I'm looking at my watch and my phone. I'm like, what are you talking about, 12 o'clock? 12 o'clock? What? Like, it's 3 o'clock. What are you talking about, 12 o'clock tomorrow afternoon? She's like, no, 12 o'clock tonight. Like, come to my back door. So I'm thinking she really got me a gift because I'm friends with her son. Like, I'm
That's
really thinking
crazy.
she bought me a gift. I did not think I'm coming here and the situation was going to unfold like that. When I walked through the door, she was like, come in. I walked in. My boys were sleeping on the floor. I stepped over both of them. I went into her room, and it went from there.
That's
You know what I'm
crazy.
saying? It
And the
happened
crazy
like
thing
3 or
is,
4
you
times,
know,
but
young boys, this
Young
is the thing
boys.
to
They
do
don't
for
even
them.
know they're
All
being
right,
taken
Buns.
advantage
Yeah.
of.
all right, kid.
All right, thanks, man.
They don't even know that they be taken advantage
Yeah,
of.
See, the
they
funny
think
Because in
thing
their
about
head, it's like, oh, I just.
it's a cool thing,
Right,
You know,
right, like I'm about to say that if a father finds out his son that's 15 is knocking down a 30-year-old teacher, it might be attractive.
It's a different approach.
It's
like,
a way
yo.
different look. It's a way different look. You know, and it's more like oh, my son, he's made it. He's doing his thing. But if it's a girl, it's definitely different.
Right.
Right. Shoni Yancey,
Uh-huh.
she was saying, and people wonder why there's so many single women out here. I'm terrified, literally. I can definitely relate to that because
She's terrified to bring her daughter around.
just terrified of
Right.
being in a relationship. But she talk about being single,
Right.
and it's like you're almost afraid to allow yourself to feel that again because you don't want to be blinded by those roses. You know what I mean? You're all in la la land. You're in love and everything. So you're like, am I going to miss something?
Right. Hold on,
So you
caller.
don't want to be there.
Right. Go ahead, caller.
Hey, I don't want to say my name, but I just want to tell a little bit of my story.
Okay.
It's taken me a lot to even call in today or even just watch the show today, and I watch the show every week.
Right.
And when I was 5 years old, I was in foster care, maybe from when I was 1 until I was 5. And my foster mother, who was basically my cousin, older cousin, I believe she let her husband molest me and my sister. I suppressed that for many, many years until I was 18. In my psychology class, we did an exercise to bring on suppressed memories.
Okay.
And when we did that exercise, I remembered everything all over again. And today, I literally had to sign up for therapy because of all the things that I began to remember. And so I'm glad you guys had this show today because, I have never spoken about this. I watched my sister get molested right next to me.
Wow.
And when I was 18 years old, and I called her, and I said, I let her know, what her husband did and her reaction, and that's how I knew she knew. She said, there's no possible way that you could remember something like that at 5 years old.
Wow.
They deflected it.
That's crazy.
Wow.
They deflected it.
That's what they do.
She asked me not to contact her anymore, and that, whatever happened to me while I was with my mother, which that was not true. I didn't live with my mother until I was 7 years old, and she never had men in the house.
Denial.
Right. And
so, yeah. And so, today, it's been taking a toll on me the last maybe year or so. So today I literally had to sign up for therapy so I could get through this, so I could push on with my life. And that's why even to this day, I do not have kids, and I don't even think that I want none.
You know what, Lovely?
Because of the stuff that I've been through.
When you go through this therapy, don't go in it with expectations, with short-term goals. Hey, I want to feel like this by this time. You let it take as much time as you need for your healing process, because it's not going to happen overnight. And with this whole thing, you have to forgive yourself too for holding on, for not saying anything, and for just dealing with it the way you deal with it. But take your time, because in time, you may want children. God may change your mind, but you just have to go through this healing process. And it is possible, because look at me. I'm a victim from a child, from a teenager. As a young adult, it happened to me. It's happened to my child. And look where I am. Not saying that I don't go through, because I still have my moments. I break down. A few weeks ago, I broke down. I threw my daughter's bed away because it was connected to him. You know what I mean? So it takes time. So don't set limitations on yourself. Just make sure you give yourself the time to heal. And you can reach out to me too. Speak out.
Caller, are you familiar with her organization, Speak Out?
I'm not.
Is it any way y'all can connect as far via Facebook? So
Yeah, I need to.
Yeah,
it down
can you
here.
do you have her name?
Yeah, I could get it from here, right?
Right, her name. I'll put her name in the comments right now. That way you can inbox her and y'all can connect on and talk. And okay. I tagged her. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Another thing I wanted to talk about was consensual rape. Because I believe that that's a thing that's really not talked about very often, and a lot of people don't understand it. Because they say, how could you, if it's consensual, how is it rape? But, that's happened to me with my first that I've ever been with. And it's like, it's a thing where you don't want to fight to cause any type of emotional distress, so you just let it happen, although you don't say no or stop. And sometimes the man doesn't know that. I don't know if anybody else has gone through that or anything, but that is a real thing, and I know other females that have gone through it. It's not really talked about often.
No, because they intimidate you in a way.
So it's just like you just giving it to him just to keep him quiet.
You kind of give up. So
it's like if you know in your head that you never really intended on having sex with this man, but you put yourself in a position for him to maybe possibly think that you want it.
And you're afraid
when it
of
starts
his
to
reaction.
go down, you don't really fight it because you don't want the struggle, or you don't want him to even try to rape you, you know? So you let it happen.
Right.
No,
that has happened.
I never even knew about consensual rape.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I know a lot of females that have gone through that, and it's not really talked about, and a lot of people really do not understand it.
A lot of times when that happens,
if you let somebody do it, then you wanted it.
Right. A lot of times that happen, a guy is usually like real pushy.
Very pushy.
Yeah.
You feel like you have no way out, so you just gotta let him go ahead and do his business so he can get away from you. Because when it happened to me, I was afraid that he was gonna get violent because I knew him and I knew he was a violent person and he was a lot bigger than me. So I was just like, oh God, hurry up and let this be over with.
Right.
Really?
Yeah, so you let it happen because you don't want the drama, you don't want the fight.
Wow.
Yep.
Because it's a struggle.
Because it makes it seem better in your head that I let myself have sex with him versus going through your life like, oh, he raped me and I didn't want it and he forced himself on me. But someone that's pushy, say if he picked you up at your house and you don't got no other way home, he's your ride.
Right.
Yeah. You feel obligated even though you don't want it.
Even though you don't want it, you feel obligated. That you have to because that's your ride home.
Not just
and
because it's your ride home, because you don't want it to go to the left.
Some guys don't realize that the female's like that, and that's the sad part too, because they don't know that they're doing that to that female. Some guys do know, but some guys really don't know, and so a lot of guys don't know.
Right.
Oh, this is deep.
Yeah, it gets real deep. And it's a lot of things. I'm not going to just say us as females because it happens to males too.
Right.
However, as females, we're more, emotional. So things affect us deeply. And a lot of time guys don't realize that the things that they do really affects us, especially, in a negative way, if it's something that's not wanted.
Right.
So it gets real deep. It gets real deep.
I think a lot of times guys, especially because I've always dated older men, right? And I think the guys actually know.
Thank you, caller.
Thank you for calling in, and I hope everything works out for you.
Okay. Thank you.
But I think the guys, they actually know, right? But they know they're in the position of, say, authority, and they have this power over you at that time. So they convince themselves like, yeah, she wants this, and, so they go forward with it. It's like a board, and I'm like, Shifty, you know what's going on.
Right.
Just saying.
Right. And to be completely honest, I didn't even know it was a name for it. But when she described it, I'm just like, damn, that happened.
Yeah.
Like, that's crazy.
Yeah.
And and a lot of times it's just crazy.
Yo, we're going to take a commercial break. We'll be right back, y'all. It's the Raw Report. Don't go nowhere. We want to thank everybody. This is deep. Don't go nowhere. We'll be right back.
Got any size to choose if you're looking for some shoes. Need some rims on your coupe, yeah, this is what we do. Even customize your kicks, guaranteed to match your whip. Get any style in stock, we just minutes from your crib. If you're looking for a deal, Star Tire Plus Wheels. If you're looking for a deal, Star Tire Plus Wheels. Yeah, come and check us out, cause we the best around. We'll beat anybody's price, knock the competition out.
Bring your car to Star and let us hook you up.
Sexual abuse of a child
exploits and degrades them. It can cause serious damage to social, emotional, and cognitive development of a child. Sexual abuse affects 1 in 4 girls and 1 in 6 boys before the age 18. Hi, my name is Zanetta Berryman Cooper, founder of Speak Out Now. Speak Out's goal is to spread awareness of child sexual abuse and rape. We provide resources for victims, their families, and help with the overall healing process. For more information, please like and visit our Facebook page, Speak Out 203, or call 203-936-9396.
You could move, but you was just like your head was in like move your head back.
Because every time I move my head, he was like, "Your glasses, the light in your glasses."
So Zanetta, Nilda Mercado, I do apologize if I pronounced your name wrong. She said, would you ever date again and be able to trust your next partner with your kids?
Wow.
That's a deep question.
Yes. The reason it's really crazy because it's complicated. So through all this, after my divorce, I was actually with someone for 3 years, and with the light of all of this and the emotional roller coaster that I went on, our relationship was kind of strained and everything. And don't get me wrong, he's a wonderful guy. I trust him with me, with my children and everything. I just feel like I don't want to share my space with anybody. I don't want to share my children with anybody. I just want to be selfish right now. I want me and my little situation in my household. I don't really want it
to be yours right now because.
Yeah, I just want it all to be mine. I want to know what's going on. I don't want anybody else to be all in my mix.
Right.
And don't get me wrong, I love him.
Right.
I love him. But I just feel like, not that I don't trust him. I just want to be selfish right now. And I want my kids to myself. I want my home to myself. I want to be in control because I was married so long, and then after I got out of a marriage, I was in a relationship. We didn't live together. So now with all this out, I just kind of I want my space. I want to process because I go through an emotional roller coaster on a daily basis. Like I just said, I threw my daughter's bed away because it was connected to my ex. I mean, literally went in the room and just things was closing in on me. I took it, threw it in the backyard. I'm done.
Just threw it away.
So I feel like right now I would be being selfish, trying to be in a relationship and not giving all of me because I just wanted to be about my children.
Right.
And me.
Which makes sense.
And winning.
Which makes sense.
That does make sense.
Now, is your daughter a part of your organization?
This one?
Yeah.
These?
Does
yes.
she speak? She
wants to. She wish her BFF was here tonight.
Right. And,
she wanted her to, but we just couldn't connect. But
that's fine. It's understandable. Now what do you plan on do going forward? I mean, after he's sentenced and he's went away, and see, the thing that bothers me is the justice system. Like, what if he doesn't get adequate time for the stuff he's done? You know what I'm saying? That's the way, like, 2 or 3 years ain't going to do it.
It's not going to cut it for me.
That's not going to cut it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because the way the system is set up, the longer they sit, it becomes old news.
Right.
Like, let it die down, and it's not on the news anymore. So now if he gets 2 years and 5 years probation and counseling, nobody will really think about it. They won't really talk about it.
Well, the prosecutor told me he wanted to meet with me to see where I was at. What do I think is fair? What do I want to happen?
What is fair to you?
Life.
What's fair?
Mm-hmm.
Life.
Is he'll never see the light of day. Mm-hmm. To me.
Right.
After hurting my baby like that and others. Right. I want him to pay not just for her, but for other people because he's contributed to the broken people we have walking around here.
Now has he been brought up on charges for those?
No, I'm the first one to come forward, and
you're the first one to come forward. Okay,
yeah.
Okay, wow.
And it just makes you think that, you know, if those previous people would have said something, it could have prevented other stuff from happening,
honey.
And
I said I didn't have to know the family secret going in. I don't care. Not saying I don't care about, you know, them. Right. Not like that. I just feel like somebody should have pulled my coattail and said, watch him.
Exactly.
Give me a heads up without going into detail. Right. Because I have 3 girls.
But how
you know, my oldest is 21.
Like that a secret, though? How is that a secret? Like
it happens.
Surprisingly, it really is. A lot of stuff like this happens. Like people, and then on top of that, like family members will be in denial.
Right.
And they'll be like, no, not my son, or not my brother, or not my uncle.
Or they call themselves handling it the best way they know how, so they don't get the law involved.
Right. Could it be more of a family being embarrassed?
Yes. Especially, you know, what we need to realize is this, too. This is a generational curse. This didn't just start happening. Mm-hmm. This has been going on for generations.
Oh, wow.
I'm not saying with just this family. I'm just talking about families, general. Period.
Families,
this
period.
happens.
It could be going along from the father, the grandfather.
Yes. There's fathers out there that have children with their daughters. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? It's sick.
It is.
But it happens. It happens, and people need to face the reality that it happens, because if it's in the forefront, you can do something about it. But if you're pushing it to the back, like, you know, old news, or it's not a big deal, we're not dealing with it. And it's going to happen again, because if you have, you know, little Johnny or little Susie around Uncle Mac, then what? Because everybody know Uncle Mac's a creep.
Right.
But nobody says anything, so they allow them to go play around them and sit on his lap or let them babysit. You know, it's crazy.
Yep, you're absolutely right.
That's now. Do you the prosecutor hasn't given you a number?
No.
As of yet.
Tomorrow.
Tomorrow you'll get a number.
Yes. I wish I did not have to work tomorrow, because I would have went. I really would have.
Oh, thank you.
No problem.
We'll be back for the sentencing.
The sentencing is, you don't know when the sentencing is?
Not yet.
Who has a question?
If they know that it happened, like, why they gotta give me a cold shoulder? Like,
what do you mean?
What?
Like,
I guess you mean like, why did the family like attack you knowing that it happened before? Is that what you mean?
They gave me the cold shoulder, though.
They gave her the cold. They did.
So she gets the cold shoulder now.
She gets the cold shoulder.
See, that's what.
Let me tell you.
Oh my God.
His mother, Sunday in church. Mind you, she walks through the door first. In church. She walks through the door first before my other 2 children. She walks past her, hug my 13-year-old, my 6-year-old, and then go to her. So I didn't see this. When we got on our way out, because when she hugged me, I gave her the good old church hug. It wasn't genuine, I'm going to be honest, because I don't like the way she tried to attack me about still having the last name Cooper. I earned that. I'm just saying, I bring light to the name. But anyway.
Now, let me tell you what's crazy. Baby girl been sitting here for about 2 hours.
Right.
And it just kicked in for her to talk.
Right.
I applaud her.
Yeah.
She's awesome, and she's an angel in my eyes. But for somebody, you walk into a church,
walk right past her,
you off like she did something wrong,
right?
Like it's her fault,
right?
And go hug the other people, and probably sat there the whole church service and hallelujah, shouting.
Yeah.
See that?
Yeah.
Oh,
that pisses me off.
So when we get ready to leave out, I noticed that she hugged her, and my daughter gave her the little pat, like she didn't really want. She gave her the shady hug.
This daughter here.
This one, she was like, "Bye."
Right.
So I was like, "What's up? What was up with the shade?" And then she told me. I was like, "Well, shade well deserved.
Right.
Absolutely.
Right.
You know what?
It's crazy.
You make me like it's her fault,
right?
That this happened from 7. See,
Right.
that's why my approach is I don't know.
Listen,
and I applaud you.
And mind you, I've had to check the mother on several occasions because of things that she do.
It's her fault for bringing it forward to the police and all that.
It's not at all.
No, it ain't her fault.
It definitely is not.
See, that's when
more people need to do that.
The Negro would have came out like, "Well, you just walked by my daughter who's been a victim of something so horrible, and you don't even."
Son, there's a place for people like that. Just saying.
Yep.
I don't have to do anything. You know, she's an innocent child.
Right.
What's your problem? What's your beef? Really?
Your beef is with her.
Not your son. Wait, hold up. The crazy thing is, when this all came about and she got wind of it, she was mad. She was enraged. I can't believe this is my son. I can't believe this happened. She wanted to strangle him and all this stuff. And then I think he starts calling her from jail
and giving his
but how you the tail and not the head, and he's your child. I'm just saying, how do you allow your child to manipulate your mind into thinking that he's done something right here?
Right.
I don't understand.
Do you know what he said to her?
I don't know what he said. I don't care what he said.
It doesn't matter what
he was just
said.
manipulating.
Yeah, he's always done
That's
that.
what somebody set up here that they manipulate.
Yeah. That's exactly what happened.
Carl Raiders just said 18 months in probation. I'm just hoping that when you go, they don't give you, because they give you a song and dance. It's a song and dance with this thing because it's so common now. Like, yo, let's get them in, let them sit for a minute, let's push them out, register them as a sex offender, and let that be their sentence.
But that makes people want to take matters into their own hands.
That's why.
And I pray all the time that we get justice, and I'm going to believe God for the justice, because to be honest with you, I don't want to have to put myself in a position where I can't be responsible for my actions, because this is my baby you did this to. I'm just saying.
Now you go do something
then I'm
violent.
Right.
Now you're getting 25, 30 years.
But, right. I'm just saying. It's crazy.
It is.
Yeah, that doctor, that judge. But see, you got to look at it now. The doctor was doing this for a long time, and I believe it was a little more political because you had Olympic stars.
Right.
Now it's mainstream and it's nationwide.
Right.
But how many little girls is it happening to right now?
Right now.
And that's involved in sports like that. And my daughter's in gymnastics, and when we go in there, I'm like, I've walked in there and be like, yo, how these little girls are dressed like this, and then you look at the trainers, how they have to touch them,
right,
to make them do a flip or whatever, and I immediately go to, yo, is this dude right?
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Wait, Von Monet said registering as a sex offender does nothing. Over
Nothing.
here, they have them housed near schools and parks. And that is absolutely true. I remember looking on the pedophile, because I'm always up there. Just, soon if they add somebody up there, I'm going to know. And I remember looking at the pedophile list in New Haven, and those little, I guess, townhouses or whatever they call it, right there on the boulevard, right next to Career, near Legion Avenue. Mm-hmm. It's hella pedophiles that live right there.
Wait, where is it at?
Right on the boulevard and Legion Avenue. It's like these
little white.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's hella pedophiles that live there. And I'm like, yo, Career's right there.
Wow.
Like, you get what I'm saying? Granted, I'm pretty sure nobody's walking that way because, it's a busy street. But still, for it to be within feet of a high school, that's ridiculous.
Right.
Isn't that a part of their restrictions when it comes down to pedophiles or sex offenders? Like, they aren't supposed to be within a certain amount of...
I believe so.
They're not supposed to be.
I believe so.
But who really follows the rules these days? These men and women are sick.
Yeah, and not only that, they don't always report when they move.
Right. They don't.
They don't always report where they move. Like, you'll see up there, it'll say last known address.
Yeah, me and my wife used to be up there on a regular, and like it'll say they
Not
are in
reported.
violation because they didn't report their last address.
Mm-hmm.
So then what do you do? Does the sex offender list really help us?
Right now.
You know what I mean?
I've actually seen a couple of them, like passing by. I saw one day standing by the courthouse. Police was sitting right there, and I'm like, yo, this fucking dude, and his failed to register address. So it's not a big deal. They're not really chasing shit like that.
Right.
Yeah.
They're not chasing.
Judicial branch, the system, I should say, they have to do better. You know what I'm saying? When it comes to restrictions, when it comes to, stipulations and just the overall process. Like, before I had any noise, I was getting discouraged. I'm like, well, dang, why did I even report it? Should I went to the other side?
Yeah.
Because now I'm not getting no action. I don't know what's really going on.
Fly Tie Wright said, people that's registered as a sex offender doesn't mean they are pedophiles. What do you say to that?
That's true. Doesn't mean that
In
they're
some
pedophiles,
cases.
but
Right.
they're still a sex offender.
Right.
Now, maybe he means they might have been with a woman.
Right.
She may have got mad and went and reported him. Do you buy that?
There are women out there that do that. I believe that, but I don't believe that's always the case.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because that's a serious offense. And as far as I know, what was explained to me about the process, they actually have enough. They have to have enough evidence to even pick you up.
Now, I watch. My wife is a big time. What's the shit? Dun dun dun. The
Law and Order.
Law and Order SVU. Now, when they show someone getting offended, violated, they have to go through a rape kit and all that. Is that how it worked? With
Yeah.
It did. Oh.
Well, no.
I'm sorry. I don't know for you, but yeah. Usually when there is sexual assault, they do go through a rape kit, and it's.
I thought you meant for her.
No, did she have to do a rape kit and all that stuff?
No, because of the time that had already passed.
Okay.
And I didn't want her. I didn't want that. The
Right,
forensic
right.
interview was extensive enough. All the questions and everything that she had to endure with that. And because it hadn't happened, for a couple years, there was no need.
Oh, so it stopped.
It has. I've been divorced,
Right,
but I was
right,
sending
right.
my children
Right,
with him
right,
every 2
right.
weeks.
And she still never said anything.
No.
Until you read. Wow.
But I did notice, about 2 to 3 months prior to us leaving, none of them wanted to go. And it was like, I'm like, well, why you don't want to go to daddy house? Or daddy doesn't clean dishes or whatever. Like, it's always so crazy. Like, well, okay, you don't want to go?
Right.
You don't have to go.
Right.
Wow. Paula D'Agostine said, my daughter's offender got released from jail today. This topic mirrors how my day went.
Wow.
That's crazy. And Paula, I'm sorry. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Vaughn,
It is.
It's a lot of trickiness with it and a lot of red tape with it. It seems like.
Yeah.
From Monet said, I have a friend getting 25 to life, had sex with a married woman, husband found out, and she claimed rape. This was a God-fearing man. I mean,
Wow.
yeah.
I mean, it happens. I'm not saying it doesn't happen.
Right.
But, I mean, that's unfortunate because she should have just
Owned
fessed
to
up.
it. Right.
You know what I mean? It is what it is.
Melanie said, each sex offender has a number in the judicial system that is posted on the page. You can look it up to see what their offense is.
Yep, you can.
Right.
Wait, somebody said men can be placed on the sex offender list just for urinating in public.
I haven't done any research on that.
I haven't done it. And if that's the truth, I better...
That's crazy. If that's the truth, that's
you
the
would think
waste.
that would just be, indecent exposure. And they'll give them a
Right.
ticket.
Yeah, that
but
can't
I
be.
don't think.
I don't know. I mean, come on.
I mean, that's absolutely ridiculous because now you're making light of something serious. You know what I mean?
Paula said he got, wait a minute.
9
Paula
months
said
mandatory,
3 years, but 15 years probation. Like, that's not, technically,
not
that's
enough.
not acceptable.
Right. It's not acceptable.
Because he's home.
Right.
He's on probation for
because
15
he has
years.
a chance to do it to somebody else.
Right.
That's what my problem is.
Right. When you go to jail, Fly Ty said, when you go to jail for any sexual offense, you have to register. And there's a lot of black men that has been lied on about raping them, about raping someone. Wow.
We're not saying that there are cases where guys, haven't done it. But what we're saying is it's a lot of times when guys do it and it's not being said.
And it's not their first offense.
Right.
Like Rhonda Massey said, fuck jail. People have a different approach.
I understand.
That shit gets handled.
I understand.
Will get handled differently. Shaylo Toy Green said, if a guy is 18 and a female is 16 and they are dating, having sex, if her parents get mad or whatever, he will be charged and labeled as a sex offender. So there are people that should not be labeled as an offender. I'm sure there's...
But there are steps that they can take, You just have to be willing to put in the time, because anything when it comes to the judicial system, it takes time. You got to fill out for this. You got to go here. You got to prove that. You got to wait a certain amount of time. There's ways to fix it. It's just not an easy fix.
Right.
Yo, that's wow.
Crazy.
Yeah, we're going to go to a commercial, y'all. Y'all don't go nowhere. We're gonna wrap it up in a minute, but this is the Raw Report. We want to thank everybody for watching, and we'll be right back, y'all. Don't leave.
Sexual abuse of a child
exploits and degrades them. It can cause serious damage to social, emotional, and cognitive development of a child. Sexual abuse affects 1 in 4 girls and 1 in 6 boys before the age 18. Hi, my name is Zanetta Berryman Cooper, founder of Speak Out Now. Speak Out's goal is to spread awareness of child sexual abuse and rape. We provide resources for victims, their families, and help with the overall healing process. For more information, please like and visit our Facebook page, Speak Out 203, or call 203-936-9396.
PAS Enterprise presents Cracking Up Saturdays, where stars come to shine. It's the Valentine's Day Comedy Show. First show is Saturday, February 10th.
Check engine light? Check this out. Star Tires Plus Wheels does alignments, brakes, shocks, wheel repair, suspensions, struts, batteries, and more. Over 30 years of trusted service to keep you on the road. Bring your car to Star and let us hook you up.
That's a good question.
But then after,
that's a good question.
And I felt like I had to have the conversation, because when you feel like you're alone, you hold everything in. And then it would have made her reluctant to share things with me. Now she's open. She gives me details.
That's a good question, because it was like, why would I need to share that story?
Yeah. I didn't say anything.
Couldn't imagine anything like this happening.
Right. And I always try to, you know how everybody say, I want to give my kids better than what I had, right? So to expose them to gruesome details of my past, I felt like was a little bit unfair. So I'm like, I don't need to tell. But when this happened, that was my way of relating to her and let her know that she's not alone, and she can tell me because this happened to me too.
Right.
And then she was like, really? So she opened up. You see how she's withdrawn. She doesn't really.
Right. She's only talked once.
Yeah.
Since we've been up here.
Right.
And that was surprising that she just said a little something.
Look, she took a coat off and everything.
Right. She loosened up. She was loosening up a little bit.
Yeah, Paula, but it made her share details with me.
Paula said, hold up. Let's talk about the repeat offenders that don't have enough evidence for a conviction. that keep offending and offending. No matter how many accusations, what about them? Because it's real hard to get a conviction unless there's a confession on undeniable evidence.
That's true.
But you have undeniable evidence.
Oh, yeah.
A text message.
Right. He admitted it. Him confessing.
Now, I'm sure the way the system works, they've probably went to him already and said, here's the offer.
Right.
What time or whatever, huh? Huh? Yeah, we on. But she can go across. He won't see her. Somebody called, but they hung up. Yeah, they won't see you on camera.
Look at her.
Yeah, I mean, baby girl, man. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. This is.
Yeah, it's crazy. They really do have the evidence, and they try to explain to me, hey, if it was you or your loved one, you would want us to go to the full extent to make sure this is true, make sure this matches.
This is what the courts told you?
That's what the prosecutor, like when the detectives, not the prosecutor, sorry, but the detectives try to sort of like talk me off the ledge, so to speak, when I told him I was going to book a flight. And he was like, listen, Mrs. Cooper, this is what happens. This is how we got to do it.
Go ahead, caller. What's up?
Yeah, how you doing, Rob? This is Jerry.
What's going on, Jerry?
You got it, brother. I just want to, tell you, man, this is a wonderful thing you're doing right here, man. You opening up that format for her like that.
No doubt. Thanks, bro.
I met you the other night. I was out there with her.
Right.
So, all right, brother. I just wanted to let you know that, brother. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks. No doubt, fam.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you. That's Jet. She's got a smile. She's got a smile. She's got a smile on her face. We was here last night. She came to do her promo for the commercial, and we got into a whole nother some other. And
Girl,
it
he
just
was like, I
popped
thought
off.
the church lady was coming. I was like,
I thought a church lady was coming, and it was. Anyway, this is now your people can reach out to you.
Yes. I have the Speak Out page. They can inbox me. I'm open. The
Always
number's
open.
supposed to, yeah.
Okay, we definitely reach out, y'all. Please, go ahead, caller. What's going on? It's the Raw Report.
Oh yes, hello, hi. My name is Natasha.
Okay, how you doing, Natasha?
I'm all right. I'm all right. I wanted to thank you for bringing awareness to this very serious situation that happens too often. This is something that's not spoken about enough, especially in our community. We have a lot of family members that are perverts, that are pedophiles, that go unchecked, that sit at family reunion tables like nothing ever happened. And we got to stop it. We have to. This has affected my family personally. From my grandfather molesting his grandchildren, to my sister molesting my two brothers, to my cousin molesting my sister and brother. This is too common. This happens too often, and we need to talk about it, and we need to demand justice and not make it this huge secret that protects the pedophiles, because they're the ones in protection, not the kids being violated and abused. It's the pedophiles that are being protected, and we have to stop that.
Absolutely.
Right.
That is true.
Now, were you a victim of it?
No, I wasn't. The crazy thing is sometimes I think, like, do I have suppressed memories? Because it's like my two siblings were molested, three of us. And I was the oldest, but I don't have any memory of it happening. And when I wasn't even 14 when my sister came out and my brother came out and told not only me, but my father. Because let me tell you something. Like, with my family, right, my dad has about 7 brothers. So growing up, my father was extremely strict. Like, he raised us so we could never spend a night out. We could not go to our aunties and uncles' houses. So my dad only trusted one of my cousins, who happened to be my female cousin. That was his favorite niece. You couldn't tell him nothing about his niece. But she was the one who ended up molesting my brother and sister.
Wow.
So then when my sister was it started when she was about 4 to about 9 years old. And my brother, they're a year apart. So they were just a year apart at the time. And she molested both of them around the same time for years. And so my sister was about 9, and we had a family meeting, and my sister told my father and my stepmother, and of course my cousin denied it. And then years later, we were all taken away from my father, and my mother regained custody. And then that's when my sister, who was molested, ended up molesting my two younger brothers.
Wow.
And when they were very young, they at 4, two started at 4, and then they confided to their grandmother, who was not my grandmother, it was their father's mother. And when my mother heard about it, of course, it crushed her, and also myself, because we all lived in the house. It's like, how was this happening right under our nose? Like, how did we not know that she was doing this to them? And it's something that tears your family apart. You're never the same. It's always like my family is still very much affected, and now we're all adults. We're all grown with our own children. And for me, I don't trust anyone with my kids. Like, and I just had my first child, like, literally 4 months ago. So
congratulations.
Having a child I'm sacrificing a lot because I know my child can never stay, not even at my mother's, because sometimes my brother, my two brothers that were molested, unfortunately, when they go through it, you don't know how they're going to take it, if they're going to become offenders as well, or if they're going to shy away and be like, this happened to me, I don't want it to happen to anybody else. You just don't know how it's going to pan out for these sexually offended children that were molested or violated. You don't know if they're going to repeat it or not. So for me, I just can't take that chance. I just can't do it. So it's a sad reality for a lot of families. Right. But this was really like, this touched, I'm so thankful that you guys are bringing awareness to this and shining a bright light, because it needs to shine bright so that more people can come out and they can share their stories and give hope and give peace to the ones that are still suffering from it. Because honestly, it doesn't end. You're never the same.
Right.
You're always affected. You just have to learn how to heal and deal with it each day at a time,
Yeah.
That's right. That's true.
Yeah.
But that was it, Rob. I just wanted to share my own experience. But yeah, I'm very sorry for the young girl that was molested by her father. That's just heartbreaking, and I hate that it happens so often. You can't even trust your children's father, their grandparents at times, their uncles. And like I said, my cousin was a female who did it to my siblings, but then my sister went on a pedophile spree. Like, it wasn't just my two little brothers. Come to find out, she was molested, and she used to always be around kids when we were younger, because we thought she just loved kids like my mother. My mother always had a house full of kids, so she babysitted everyone's kids. And my sister was literally molesting my mother's friends' children. Like, it was ridiculous what came out years later. Like, she molested a lot of kids.
Did she ever get in trouble?
Not just her, my brothers.
Did she ever go to jail or anything?
She never went to jail, but honestly, because my sister lived a very traumatic life as far as being sexually abused, physically abused, my sister is now been diagnosed with schizophrenia and bipolar. She's certified crazy, like, for real. She takes medication. She's just out of this world. And she's only 30, how old is she? 34. But she was diagnosed at 33. But my sister has shown signs of mental illness for at least 10 years. So I think everything she's been through really messed her up in the head, honestly.
That's
because
true.
you're going to have that guilt, especially with her, my brothers. Like, she's so effed up about what she did, and then having to deal with being molested herself, and then she was physically abused. So my sister had major issues, and it played out in different ways in her life. She started using drugs. She became very promiscuous. It's been a long road.
Yeah, people need an outlet when they're dealing with situations like this, because it sends your mind in a whirlwind. Some people just end it because they can't even deal with the emotions anymore. It's crazy, because in 5 minutes you can have 1,000 different emotions
just running through your head.
Mm-hmm. And it's like, sometimes, like, not for nothing, I'm be completely transparent, I've been there. Right. I've been there, want to end it, don't want to deal with this. And this was before, it happened with my child. But it just sends your mind in a whirlwind. And sometimes you don't know how to deal with it. It's just like, by the grace of God, I am sane.
Right. Mm-hmm. Wow. Caller, we thank you so much.
Thank you so much for accepting my call.
Oh, absolutely. Thank you for calling.
I'm going to continue to listen on. Okay, thank you.
Good night. Good night.
Yeah, sometimes some people, it's sad that people that goes through it would turn around and put that hurt on somebody else, because
hurt people
to a certain extent. But I just feel like it's crazy, and people like that really do have some type of mental illness
because it affects your mental. And if you're not in control of your thoughts or can't gain control of your thoughts, it can lead you anywhere. That's why you see people jumping off of buildings, smoking, crack or drinking excessively, you name it. People do it because they don't know how to grab hold of those emotions or those thoughts that they're having.
Right.
Right. Go ahead, caller. She's delayed.
Caller.
Go ahead.
Can you turn your device down?
All right. She's talking.
No, you got to turn your device down because you're on a delay.
Okay.
Caller.
Hello?
Yeah, turn your device down.
Okay, hello. Hi. Hi, Courtney.
Hello.
This is Cousin Frederica.
Hey, Frederica.
How are you?
I'm good. You?
This is a very touchy subject.
Mm-hmm.
As I listen, well, for me, it do affect you in a lot of ways.
Mm-hmm.
It affects your mental ability.
Mm-hmm.
It affects your mental ability to want to have children and raise children.
Mm-hmm.
It affects your trustworthy of people.
Mm-hmm.
I have 4 children. I'll be 50. And it's like my life is more or less on a loner side.
Because of it.
I've shied away from just the world.
Mm-hmm.
Period. It makes you shy away. I was molested by my stepdad. Like a person, I told my mother, but it was harder for me because my mother didn't believe me.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
That happens.
So that's what made it more harder for me.
Mm-hmm.
And I became addicted to drugs. I'm real paranoid. So this was a good subject because I stayed in silence for a very long time. I go to therapy on and off.
Mm-hmm.
I have 2 daughters and 2 sons that I have a relationship where I ask them, like, if anybody ever violates you,
mm-hmm.
You have to really, really let me know, and you can't think it's okay.
Right.
That's right.
Even it goes for people who are having their grandchildren.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And I try to stay on my kids about, when they're having their kids and who babysitting your kids and who not. This was a very open conversation, and I thought it was in secret.
Right.
Because back in the, I'm going to say 50s and 60s and 70s, when stuff like this happened, it was in secret.
It definitely was in secret back then, yeah.
So I'm glad that someone is bringing it out into the world that it really exists.
Right.
And people who are victims, I'm glad that they can come out, because a situation like this, it really, really destroys your life as you get older.
Yep.
It really destroys you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Zanetta, I just want to say that the program that you started, you're going to help a lot of people who are victims, who are in silence, who don't know how to come out or where to start.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to say, God bless you.
God bless you as well.
And thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for calling in, Frederica.
That's tough in itself, just to come out and just talk.
It is.
We're on a social media platform right now. And
Right. And it took me a long time to say something about what happened to me as a child because of who the person was, and I didn't want anybody to see him differently, and it's crazy.
It's funny how it worked back in the day.
Yeah.
It's gut. What's up, Cole? It's the Raw Report. What's going on?
Hey, my name is Cena. I'm Zanetta's cousin.
Sing to the beat.
Okay.
Hey. Well, I was just chiming in because this issue is like really big for me. Myself as a child was, in this situation, and it was an uncle. Turn that down. So me going to say something to my dad, what he said to me was, oh, why would we put another black man in the system?
Wow.
So I never understood why he said that until I got wind that my father himself is a sex offender.
Wow.
I can openly say these things now. I'm pushing 30. I'm over trying to hide the situation or whatever. So now I have two girls. One is 5, one is 9 months. My 5-year-old, I ask her on a daily basis, has anybody touched you where they're not supposed to touch? She knows the 3 places that no one is supposed to touch. One of my sisters say I do ask her too much, which I don't think that I do, but we have to, as parents, being male or female, have to not how can I say this? Not drill our kids about it, but we need to ask them more than a little bit, because if we don't ask them, they are going to be afraid to say something.
Right.
And that's where it comes into play as, oh, well, you can't be your child's friend. No, I'm not going to be her friend all the time, but I'm going to be her friend because I need her to talk to me.
Right. She has to trust you.
Right. I need her to trust me. Like, I have a bunch of little cousins who trust me. Like, they tell me things that they don't want to tell their parents. So now they come, they talk to me, and I'm able to go and share these things with their parents.
Mm-hmm.
And they can handle the situation how they need to handle it or whatever. But, I just wanted to call in because a lot of people, they know who my dad is, whatever. I'm not going to really put that out there at this time. But, we have to be careful with certain situations because, like I said, I was afraid. But then when I wasn't afraid anymore, it made me feel like my dad didn't care.
Mm-hmm.
And only my mom cared. But by this time, it was like, oh, well, Madeline, we're not going to do anything or say anything, and let's not make a big deal. I'll talk to him. No, nigga, I don't want you to talk to him. I need you to do something about it.
Right.
That's it.
Whether that's your brother or not.
Right.
Wow.
Now that I'm older and I got a bunch of friends, now I'm going to handle it the right way. No, I don't speak to this uncle, but I just wanted to call in and share that because, Delilah is my cousin and I love her so very much and I'm so proud of her. And Zanetta, I applaud you because you know how we are and you went about things the correct way. And I stand by you 100%. And make sure you let everybody know who wants to attend what time court is, because we all should be there for support.
9 a.m.
That's it. No doubt.
Yeah.
That's it. So that's all I wanted to say, you guys. Zanetta, Nyla, take care. I love you guys.
Thank
you.
Thank you.
The crazy thing is, Cena's one of my baby cousins that was raised with me like a little sister. And I had no idea. And after me coming out and, building Speak Out, she actually told me the story. And I'm like heartbroken all over again. Like it's one of my children. You know what I mean? Like just now I was kind of getting my emotions together because now I'm back dealing with both of my babies having to deal with this. And we're not the only ones in our family, unfortunately.
And everybody that's coming out tonight and that's speaking on it, yo, salute you, because it's not easy doing it to a bunch of strangers.
Right.
Paula, I can't really pronounce her name, Diggerstein said, I was raped from age 9 to 12 by my mom's boyfriend. And yes, she knew and would turn the radio up. I never said anything. I never said nothing to anyone else because I was so afraid that he would start in on my younger sister. I'm really funny with people close, so when it happened to both my daughters, it killed me because no matter how much I was careful, I couldn't protect my kids from this. My daughter's father molested our then 4-year-old. 7 months later, my oldest got molested on the couch by her uncle. The two men me and my sisters chose to protect and have our kids with were the only ones we should have been looking out for. We were together 11 years. My sister was with hers for 7 years, and we are so super tight. You never know anyone.
That's true, because
that's crazy.
Me, I was in a bad marriage. I'm put it out there. I was head over heels with a loser.
Right.
Like, straight up. I'm be real. I didn't see it when I was head over heels, but it is what it is. And part of my reason for staying was because of what happened to me. And I felt like this is their father. I don't want anybody else to come in our situation. And the same thing happened to me. But the very person that I should have been protecting them from, I trusted with everything.
Right.
Even I have a 21-year-old too. And she said he's never crossed the line, but
it's still like,
it's like, nigga,
yeah.
I trusted you with my most prized possessions, and you violated.
You violated. Now
it's crazy.
You said that's not her biological?
No.
Is he in the loop with everything?
He knows what happened now. But he's a non-factor. He's a non-factor.
He's just a non-factor. Yeah. Yo, it's the Raw Report caller. What's good? Talk to us. They hung up. Okay.
That's crazy that Cena had brought that up with the whole people are saying that she acts her kids too much. I know someone who...
You can't.
Yeah, that's true. But I do know someone who, was molested when they was younger, but I feel as though they do take it to a certain extreme when it comes to their child.
It makes you paranoid. Like, let me tell you, this one, she sticks to me like glue, right? Mm-hmm. Sometimes she wants to go out. This one, she's sometimes a social butterfly. Sometimes she's not. But when they want to go to parties, they want to go stay the night, I need to meet everybody. I need to know who's going to be here. I need to know what's going on. Address. This one, she wanted to go skating. Now, mind you, we live in a new state. I don't know many people. Right. You know what I mean? So when you want to go to an event, I need you to give me all the information. Right. I need to have it in my GPS.
Understandable.
I need everything.
That's understandable. But this friend takes it to the extent where she would she'll have somebody watch her, her child while she works. And then when she picks her child up, she examines her child down near. I just feel like that's going too far. Granted, you could never be too safe, but I just feel like as a child
examining,
I feel like that's too much.
That's borderline, but teachers
that's what I'm saying. I just feel like that's too much.
She was a victim?
She was a victim.
Okay. She needs to talk to somebody.
Right.
And she needs to be able to have the conversation with the child because examining them is violating them too.
Exactly. Mm-hmm. And that's what I mean. And we've tried to have multiple conversations with this person about it, but she's just you can't tell me how to raise my child. Y'all don't understand. And it's like, no, I completely understand.
So because us as parents, we don't want anybody to tell us what to do with our kids, right?
Right.
So encourage her to maybe see someone, because she's this way because she hasn't started the healing process. You know what I mean? She's paranoid as if this is her. The same thing's going to happen to her, even though it's possible and it may not. She just haven't registered it. She just haven't started the healing process, right. So I would encourage her to get some kind of help, talk to somebody. Mm-hmm. And a lot of times when you talk to strangers, a therapist, they don't judge you. Like when I talk to mine, because I'm not in right now, but when I first started talking to a therapist, at first I was kind of withdrawn, I don't know if I want to share this with this lady, but she's somebody who doesn't know me. Mm-hmm. I don't feel judged. I feel like I can tell her any and everything. And if I feel like, hey, I'm going to lose my mind and this is what I feel like doing, I can say that to her and not feel like she's going to come back at me, because this is not their job to do this. Hey, you're doing this wrong. Hey, you're doing that wrong. But they'll give her a way to deal with it. So how about instead of doing this, how about we take this approach?
Right.
So she just needs to talk to somebody.
Right.
Cena, and you don't have to be sorry. She said she's sorry she hung up, but she got emotional. You don't have nothing to be sorry about.
Right.
Because you
good.
definitely a trooper for calling in and sharing your story. Everybody that called in tonight or wrote up in the comments and shared their story, that's what's up. Thank you, because this it helps somebody like me, because my approach to say that you can go start an organization to help people that went through it. It takes a lot.
Yeah,
it's a lot. That's probably I don't know if I can do. You know what I'm saying?
I didn't think I could.
Yeah, we talked. You said,
I play the background. Like, I did praise and worship every Sunday. Please don't put me in the lead. I just want to be your doo-wop pop chick in the back, do my oohs and ahs and get out of there. You know what I'm saying? And when it came to going out there just to do that part, I would pray to God, like, please God, give me this strength. Like, I don't like being on the forefront, so I know this is nothing but God.
Right.
I just want to apologize to the little boys at my daughter's school back when they were like 8 and 9 years old that I used to give dirty looks to. They used to play with my daughter. Yeah, I'm a maniac, yo. I definitely gave them dirty looks, and they would look at me and like turn their head. I'm like, I want to apologize to them. Caller, go ahead, caller. I'm sorry.
Hello, this is Shemaya, the one that's all in the comments, up and down, going crazy.
What up, Shemaya?
So, what's up, Coco? So, I was going to call in because I got quite a few things to say, because we grew up with a friend that was on the sex offender list.
Yeah, we did. We did.
So, that's what I mean by you have to be careful as well, because not everybody who's up there is up there for rape or molestation or whatever. Sorry, it's cold as hell outside. But, everybody up there is not up there for that, so you can't just take that into consideration and go off of what you see on the sex offender listing and just think like, oh, I'm just about to go shoot up these apartment complexes because like 15 sex offenders live here. Like, no.
Right.
You can't do stuff like that, because everybody who on that list not on that list for that. If you get caught in certain states having sex in public, you will be a registered sex offender for the rest of your life.
That's crazy.
I didn't know
That's
that.
crazy to
I didn't
me.
know that.
I didn't know that either.
If you pee within 5 miles of a school in public and get caught, you will be a sex offender for the rest of your life.
I didn't know that either.
So they're making a mockery.
They're mocking
of the sex offender list.
What really?
Exactly. Which makes it so hard for more people to really, understand that everybody who is a sex offender is not a creep, is not a pedophile. Not taken
crazy.
away from the people who are, because there are a lot of them.
Right.
I just stand clear of
Like,
everybody.
for another example,
That's why I don't like people.
somebody tried my daughter. And I wanted to touch on the subject what Coco was talking about, does the girl ask her daughter too much? Me and Coco been friends since we was very young, so she know my life and all that. Like, I've been there. I went through therapy all through high school. I didn't do nothing but fight because I was angry. Like, I've been there. So when I had a daughter, Coco will tell you, like, my daughter don't go nowhere. Every event I have is at my house or I am there. Like, my baby don't even stay the night out with her godmother. Like, I don't play that. That's out.
It be like that.
And you can ask your child too much, because when my daughter did get tried, she didn't tell me because she thought I was going to hurt the little boy. Because I asked her every day, because her babysitter had 2 grandsons. And one of the grandsons was just a little too fresh for me. So every day when I used to pick her up, I used to ask her, did he try to kiss you? Did he try to touch you? Whatever, whatever. She, no. But the grandmother happened to walk in one day because she hear my baby crying, but she don't hear the boys saying nothing. She walk in, they both trying to pull on my baby clothes, trying to take her clothes down, humping them.
Wow.
I'm not gonna lie, I'm real black, and God ain't finished with me yet. So I went in there busting all kinds of acts.
Absolutely.
The mother up, beat both the kids. Listen, what pissed me off about it, I was trying to be a good person about it, but when everything was said and done, we talked to all the kids, found out, got to the end of the story. He bust my daughter lip a week before that. My daughter said the reason why he bust her lip is because she was about to tell that he tried to touch her that day. So for the mother to have known that and then the mother tell me, oh, he's gotten caught touching 2 other little boys. For you to be able to tell me that your son has been caught touching 2 other little boys and you have not gotten him no help, I couldn't contain myself. I jumped over that coffee table and beat the brakes off her.
How old was the little boy?
He was like 8. My daughter was like 5, and his brother was like 7. So my whole thing is, now you got your little brother doing it because you have a history of doing this. You've been caught doing this to more than one of your cousins.
I wonder if it's something happened to him.
With him,
at that young age, for him to do that, something had to happen
Somebody
to him.
had to be doing it to him. That's the way I felt about it.
Wow.
And the mother tells me, oh, well, when he came back from spending down south with his dad, he didn't want to shower. He started wetting the bed, this, that, and the third. And I'm like, I'm going to give you 24 hours to take your son to therapy or the cops will be at your door in the morning. And I'm not playing with you. Like, I told her, if you, like, there will be no school for your son today, none of that. Like, because I was working overnight at the time. But the grandmother called me at work and I left.
Right.
So I would like, and this is somebody, I've lived in the same house for 7 years. This is my neighbor. Our kids grew up together from Pampers, like. So what really pissed me off is I had already seen a change in her son. And I had asked her on multiple occasions what was going on with her son. But that's where my comment came from in the comments where I said, if a lot of parents paid more attention to their kids and got their kids help when they first saw signs, instead of waiting until you come into a parent like me who don't play that, and I'm definitely going to make sure I get down to the bottom of it, don't wait until something happened to mine where I'm not going to allow it to continue because you knew your son had these behaviors already and you didn't do nothing about it. But when you know that you will be charged for him because he's a minor, that's when you go do something.
Right.
Oh, okay, yep. Yeah.
That's crazy.
That is crazy.
I wish in our situations he would have got help.
Even like the grandmother, the one who called me and all that, like after I beat her daughter up, like she ain't even care. She was like, call the cops. Call the cops because she's not going to do nothing if you don't call the cops. Right. And I took it upon myself because I feel you can't blame no child. As angry as I was initially, you can't blame a child because children pick that behavior up from somewhere else. There's not a child in the world that just come out the womb like, oh, I'm going to touch you on something. Like, that doesn't happen.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? So you have to be exposed to stuff like that. And then what pissed me off is I don't allow my daughter to hang with the little boys no more or go over there anymore, but I still live in the same place, so I still see them. And, I still give them snacks. And if I'm outside, I let them all play together because I'm outside and I'm watching. But they're not allowed to come in my house. She's not allowed to go in their house, stuff like that.
Right.
Because I don't feel I can blame that child. But what really pissed me off is she took the little boy out of therapy. He started hanging with another little boy who moved in my building. And now this little boy, mother got a DCF case because somebody been playing with his little booty.
See?
Jesus Christ.
That's crazy.
So you get what I'm saying? It's like you're not stopping the cycle.
Right.
You're allowing it to continue because you don't even try to get help for yourself.
But they're in denial.
Those are the kind of people
They're in denial. They're like, not my baby.
Cycle by keeping it a secret.
Right.
Because
a lot of people are in denial. They don't want to believe that their child is capable of doing these horrific acts. But at the end of the day, listen, if it's happening, you need to do what you gotta do.
How is your son already a monster and he's only 8? And then that's sad because he's a baby, deserves to have that kind of mindset. But obviously, it's already in him because he's doing it. He's already done it to at least 5 kids.
Right.
At 8 years old?
And you're gonna allow it to continue to happen. He's 8.
Yeah, he needs therapy.
Definitely.
Needs to be seeing somebody. Definitely.
And then it's like with situations like that, you don't know how to feel because you feel bad for the child because they don't deserve that lifestyle and they deserve somebody to care enough for them, to advocate for them, to get them the help that they need. And some parents, honestly, like I really got to the point where I really feel like some people do need to take a test before they have kids because some people just have them because they get pregnant. Because there's no way on God's green earth. I took my daughter to therapy for it. And it wasn't even that serious. I took her to the doctor. They said she wasn't penetrating, none of that. Like, I made sure I did what I had to do for my child because I'm always going to do that. How can you not?
Right.
As a mother, I don't understand that.
Right.
and then you allowing other children to become victims because you're not doing what you need to do for your son.
You're right.
In situations like that, it's like, what do you do?
That's crazy.
All you really can do is what you need to do for yours, because you can't control what somebody else does. You know what I mean? Like in our situation, you know, had it been reported or, you know, they gotten help, it was brought to the light, whatever, then it wouldn't happen to my baby.
Right.
Bless you.
Thank you.
It just make it really hard because in situations like that, like, I would hate to say it because it's not a good thing to say. I feel like he's gonna be one of those people who get a girlfriend and the girlfriend don't know his past, and you know what I'm saying, when he's grown, and that will cause it to happen to somebody else because she's not even attempting to get him the kind of help he needs. He's gonna be a man someday. He ain't doing nothing but getting bigger and stronger.
Right.
You're giving him all of the okay to go be that kind of monster to somebody else.
Right.
And then on top of that, you know, once a child feels as if nobody advocates for them, that fear turns into anger.
Mm-hmm.
That's true.
And that anger don't do nothing but make you more violent. So if you already have those kinds of tendencies and you growing up with that kind of hurt and pain and anger, you're going to become violent. See, I became violent, but I chose to take my violence out on, you know, people who didn't know how to keep their mouth closed.
She's so damn aggy. I cannot see her ass.
I'm just,
I can't.
you know.
Yo.
She on my damn
I
nerves.
use my violence to help others, you know.
Right.
Shut up, yo.
And learn how to mind niggas.
Yeah, we thank you so
the
much.
Kind of violence that, I'm serious though, the kind of violence that's gonna be created in him is not gonna be nothing but like, it's just gonna evolve into something evil because he's not trying.
Oh yeah, you're right. Thank you for calling in, Shamaya.
All right.
Cuz, thank you for calling in, Ma. We're gonna go ahead and wrap up, y'all. We gotta get these babies home, get them in the bed. Everybody that Zanetta, if they want to reach you, you have a there's a phone number as well, right?
Yeah. How about I don't know by heart?
Hold on, let me hold on.
No, it's I have a 203 number. I be juggling area codes. You know.
You be juggling. She said she's juggling area codes. Hold on.
Let me stop. Excuse me. No, because I have one local for South Carolina too. So it's 203-936-9396.
Hold on, let me get that up there. Hold on. Give me a second. Anybody needs, they can reach you anytime.
Anytime. And
what is it? 996? 936-9396.
Yes.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And this is the number if you need to reach out. It's 203-936-9396. The organization is called Speak Out Now. Hashtag it. You'll find her on Facebook, yes?
Yes. It's under my profile as well.
Under a profile as well. Reach out. And everybody that called in tonight, that took amazing courage to do that.
Yes.
Because I know that's something I couldn't do. And that took amazing courage for the young lady to come on tonight and you know, sit with moms and moms to come up here and do her thing and tell her story, and the little one over there getting their
she
camera,
trying to get a little face
getting their camera action in.
You see it, right?
Yo, she didn't get in that time and got her camera. She's getting her camera. She getting her camera action in.
Because she's like, I don't care if they see my face.
I'm getting my camera action in. I feel her. Yo, everybody, thank you for calling. Thank you for checking in.
Can I say something before we end?
Absolutely.
I just want to urge all parents to please have this conversation with your kids. Let them know what's right, what's wrong. Make sure they're not afraid to come to you. I cannot stress it enough.
Right. And even the victims that are dealing with it haven't come forward. You know, look us up on Facebook. I have a closed group for the men. closed group for the women. It's a safe haven for you to tell your story, even if you don't want it to be public. It's a lot of supporters in there. The group members really embrace you, pray for one another and everything. So if you're looking for a starting place for your healing process, make sure you speak out up.
Yeah, look up, speak up. Speak out, tongue twister. And don't forget, this was an awesome show. Don't forget to join us tomorrow. We got Child Support Talk Part 2. It's gonna be
Y'all
crazy.
not getting me out of character tomorrow. That's all I'm saying.
this was needed. This was amazing.
No, this definitely was.
And it's been on my mind all day. All day I just like what like me and college girl come up here, yo, what do we say to something like this?
Right.
This is like my worst fear too, like, you know what I mean?
Right.
Like dealing with something like that. And I'm more old school. Like my brothers are more like a little girl can't come and jump on their lap. They're like, oh,
right.
Hey. It's just like no, you can't do that.
And anytime you see a man that is willing to wrestle or let a little boy sit in their lap, watch him.
Right. He ain't right.
Right.
Paula said, thank you, Rob and Zanetta. You guys are great. College girl. This was real awesome.
Yeah.
This was awesome. Yo, we want to thank y'all for checking us out. Don't forget tomorrow, 7:30, Child Support Talk to Part 2. We here. It's the Raw Report. Again, Zanetta, thank you, honey. Let me hit you with mad bombs because you and your fam came up here and it brought out more people.
Right.
To talk.
That's the goal.
And tackle this thing because, you know what I'm saying? And the whole peeing thing, I got to figure that out.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Don't pee outside.
I got to figure that out because, yo.
That's wild.
Yeah.
That's wild.
And I maybe it's because I'm fat, old. I don't know what it is. But I'll be like, yo, I'll be driving around, be like, oh, there go one of my spots right there. I'm good.
I can't. Hold up, where's the congratulations? You just played yourself.
Congratulations, you played yourself.
Yo, I played myself. Hold up.
Congratulations, you played yourself.
Yo, everybody, thank you for checking in. Check us tomorrow. Please watch this, share it, make it go viral, make it do whatever it got to do. We thank y'all for checking us out tonight. We got to get these babies home and get them in the bed. I got to get my daughter in the bed because she had a late thing today. She's not going to school tomorrow, but she's getting her little butt out here tomorrow. Yo, everybody, thank you. It's the Raw Report. Thank you for checking us. Good night.
Good night.
I got a freaky flow.